Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird, wonderful world. And yeah, I'm finally live again. And I got nothing prepared. I just want to kind of wing it. And whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm here. And of course, hello, Ethan. See, excellent to see you. I'm glad you showed up. I'm not going to wait until anybody else shows up. I'm just going to start getting into what I'm going to start with is some reviews of some of my more recent albums. Well, before I go into that, I want to just show you what's right in my need to get to box of what I need to listen to. I mean, some stuff I already listened to, but it's still in there because I want to get back into it again. Because right now, what I have in here, of course, I still have a song from a local band, Great Balancing Act. I want to hear that again because I really do love it. I got both Use Your Illusions in there still because I want to listen to that again. I need to get around to listening to the singles, of course, still. I still need to listen to that again. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's staying in there until I get to it for sure. The greatest hits of April Wine. I still need to listen to that. I still I still need to get to the two newest Sparks that I ended up getting. Can't wait for Mad to come out next month. That's going to be awesome. So I still need to listen to those again. I need to listen to Ween. And so, there's. Well, hello, Doug. Hello, Douglas. Nice to have you here. And so, you need to re-listen to yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely, for sure. I do want to listen to the to Use Your Illusions again for sure because I do like them. They are good. I played a little. I kind of played some of the songs here and there. I didn't play the whole album yet, but I did. There was a few songs on there I did want to hear first. I didn't have a lot of time to play the whole album at the moment, but I did anyway. And music and cat lover. Yeah, thank you very much, and happy Easter to you too, and to everybody that showed up, of course. So some of the new stuff that I got that I haven't gotten around to listening to yet, of course, would be the Green Day. Still haven't listened to that yet, but I will be. I still haven't listened to the Prodigy Breeze that I got. It's only like a little EP. See, the sticker's still on it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. The Pursuit of Happiness. I haven't gotten to that yet, but that's what's in my box right now. That's pretty much everything in there. I did listen to this, of course, the Led Zeppelin 3. That's new that I got in the last couple of weeks. I love that. It's super awesome. Uh, no, I can't wait to get more, actually. I thought they would have had more studio albums, but apparently not as much as I was thinking they had, you know? So I'm more than halfway there. So I need to get I will be getting all the Led Zeppelin albums for sure. Um, how much I enjoyed that when I listened to that. That's pretty recent. That was in the last couple of weeks that basically a week that I have this so far. This is such a refreshing, different take on the songs. I love the order of them. I love the way yeah, I love the message behind this. It's really great. This, I haven't. Every time I hear this of Fleetwood Mac rumors, it keeps getting better. I mean, Songbird maybe is the my least favorite song on here. Oh Daddy maybe also the only two songs that are the weakest. But even then, they're still fantastic, and I still love them. But everything else, like especially secondhand news, juice, never going back again, go your own way. That's epic. Don't stop. The chain. You make loving fun. Even I love this album. So I think it's so relaxing and calming, and so much great instrumentality. Like the song arrangements, the musicality of it is spectacular. It's a good surprise. I love it. And this was nice and relaxing too. I played that right. one because the newest stuff I ended up buying, of course, was the Green Day, which I still haven't gotten to yet. The Franz Ferdinand and the John Lennon. I had the first thing when I first got these and I made my video grand opening. I opened it right away. Oh, I got some messages here. So I did tell you about the group Throbbing Gristle, Industrial Rock. The first one should be in. Oh yeah, yep, yeah. I have to keep that in mind. Do I have a pen handy? I want to start writing stuff. I want to start writing this down. I got a brand new notebook just so I can start writing these other groups I need to check out down. So is it called Throbbing Gristle? Throbbing. Yeah, I'll make sure I put that right. Gristle. Industrial rock, eh? Entertainment through pain. Okay, entertainment. Oh yeah, definitely. I like some good industrial rock stuff for sure. Entertainment through. Yeah, I'll know. And then using cat lover is yeah. I want to get that. I do want to get. I want to get pretty much all their albums too. I like everything they have, but right now all I have is the greatest hits. Yeah, the greatest hits and Dookie for the moment. But I will be getting more Green Day, absolutely. So yeah, as soon as I had gotten these, I played that the first thing. It was great. I do like it. It's only 35 minutes long, so it's not a long album at all. Just a touch over 35 minutes. So it's a perfect length for a nice play. You know, I don't have to worry about making too much time to put that on. I, and right immediately after I had to play this, and it was so relaxing, and I do love all these songs. I They're not overused for me, and they're not overplayed. Some people might say I've heard these too many times and they're overplayed for me, but not for me at all. I could play this again and again for sure, for sure. But this is just as good, maybe not better than its other albums from Franz Ferdinand, but it is good. So X XJ Miller. How's my beef heart collection? All I have so far is Safe as Milk. That's the only one I got so far. I do want more beef heart. I do love beef heart, but of course, the holy grail to have on CD would be Trout Mask Replica. I need Trout Mask Replica. The first time I heard that, it kind of I understood. I understood what they were doing and what they were going for, and it blew me away. I actually really do like it a lot. Is it their best stuff? Probably not, but it's their most interesting work. That's what I can say for sure. But yeah, it's just for now. I have a Safe as Milk, and I really do love that. I've played that over a dozen times now, and it's one of those albums that I feel like just pulling out, and playing because it's so good. Well, hello, Robert Harris. Yes, hello, and I know I've said this already 1,000 times, but thank you for the Voivod. Thank you for the Frank Zappa. I love them and I cherish them. I really do. Yeah, there's some good stuff there that I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. So the last thing I played today, before, because I kept on meaning to get around to it. I had it in my player, but I ended up before playing it, I taken it out to play some other stuff. But then I put it back in, and finally I got to playing it today. It was the Anthrax here, the worship music. Again, it's just for me, just like I was going to say about the Franz Ferdinand is just as good as their other work. Joey is in top form. They sound very much like their old self. Like playing this, even though it was new and everything, it really gave me a good nostalgia for the old stuff. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it really is. It is very good. I like I said, it gave me a good feeling of nostalgia of the for the old stuff when I heard it, because there's some riffs that sound very much like the classic stuff, right? But not quite. They kind of mixed. You know, it's a good album. I'm actually very very happy to have it, and I want to get all their albums, even the like the Sound of White Noise and the stuff with the other singers, because I enjoy those stuff too. I really do. It's not just Joey. Joey, although Joey is the best, you know, for sure. Oh, I gotta check. I'm gonna be going on here for 3 hours at least. I just want to check my messages here, and no, okay, it's all good. Just give me a second. I want to plug my phone back in. It's a little. It needs a little bit more power. I'm not far. There we go. Yeah, I just wanted to plug that back in. So yeah. So whenever you make a suggestion, I'm writing it down. So that's why I got this brand new notebook here for. And then and they did another one after that, which was For All Kings. I don't have it handy here, but yeah, might as well, might as well show whatever you want to see. I can just always just go and grab it. It's never far from me. So I believe you're talking about For All Kings, which is really great. So yeah, it is. It is. It very much is a good one. So yeah. So I have worship music. I have For All Kings. That's the newest ones I have. But of course, you have to have the classic. And I even have some of them twice here because let's start with the beginning of Fistful of Metal and Armed and Dangerous. This is a nice little compilation with both albums on it. So I love that I have it. I still think it's great. So it's great stuff for me. But then I have this nice little box set of the Aftershock Island years, which of course includes bonus stuff, some a lot of great bonus stuff, of course. But it has Spreading the Disease, Among the Living, uh, State of Euphoria, and Persistence of Time, which is one of my favorite. I really love Persistence of Time. I mean, they're all great in their own way. But as you see here, not only do I have it in the box set, but I do have those two separately too. So I have them kind of twice. I could probably get rid of these and give them to somebody I know that will appreciate them. And I got another message here. There we go. I was talking about the one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Persistence of Time. Persistence of Time. That is such a great album. It's one again, it's one of my favorite. It came out around the same time as And Justice for All did for Metallica. And I thought, well, I thought no, it was that. It was State of Euphoria that came out at the around the same time as Injustice for All, and I thought they had a similar sound to their guitars and their music. I mean, different arrangements, of course, and that, and different singing and that, but sonically, those albums kind of sounded the same. And same with Persistence of Time. Yeah, Persistence of Time really impressed me because I do love time. I do love blood. Keep it in the family, especially once it gets into reality and the belly of the beast. Yeah, yeah. One man stands. So it's awesome. Got the time. It's awesome. Which is, I believe, it's a I forget the original singer, but it is a cover song. But yeah, and of course it has bonus stuff for sure. So the first album I heard was the soundtrack Airheads, which features Anthrax. Yes, yes, I need to get that soundtracks. There's oh gosh, there's another band on there that Tad, I think, yeah, TAD, Tad, and there's a song on there by Tad that I really love. I love that. Yeah, that arrangement on that. That is a soundtrack I need. There's still a lot of great little soundtracks here and there that I wouldn't mind picking up. Like I wouldn't mind picking up the soundtrack for Demon Knight. Demon Knight, yeah, that would be an awesome soundtrack to get some good stuff on that too. My brother has that soundtrack, but yeah, I do. Yeah, I absolutely do need that. Well, some of the bonus stuff I do have here, like the one for Among the Living on this, that's on this package here. It has an alternative lead for Indian, an alternative take for One World, a different take for an alternate take for Imitation of Life, then something called Bud E. Love Bomb and Satan's Lounge Band. Then they do, of course, the I Am the Law live in Dallas and I'm the Man instrumental. There's a I'm the Man instrumental. And then the bonus stuff on the State of Euphoria has, and I always love this, friggin' in the riggin'. Friggin' in, it's like a ship song, you know, like one of those sea shanties kind of thing in a way. Antisocial Live, Antisocial French version, Parasite, you know, which is a Kiss, you know, Parasite, baby, Sex and Pipeline. Then it has on the persistence of time. The bonus stuff on there is protect and survive. Oh, I got some more. I want to keep up with these for sure. It also features We Want the Airwaves. Yes, again, I need to get the Airhead soundtrack. Absolutely. Like I was saying, it has such good stuff. Oh, yeah, Conan the Barbarian soundtrack. Yeah, yeah, I'm not. I haven't really heard that, but that'd be interesting to get into. I'd love that. So yeah, anything else you want to know and or talk about, just let me know. If I don't have it, I don't have it, and I mean some stuff I don't have that I still know, so I can give reviews on that. Like that, like I said, ask me anything. It's basically we're just hanging out, talking about music. I don't want to talk about anything else but music. Yeah, I know. I need to listen to more ELO for sure. I haven't watched that. I haven't watched that thing he did with who he was doing something. Yeah, Dream Theater. He was doing Dream Theater with Alex from Beer and Vinyl, and I need to check that out. I haven't gotten around to that yet. But yeah, he's doing that thing for ELO, and I don't know if he had posted that yet, but I do like ELO. I do like their stuff, and I do need to catch up on more ELO. I basically just know the hits, you know, the radio standards. I'm not as familiar with ELO as much as I would love to be. That D that DTEP was really good. DTEP DT from what band? Jay? Oh wait, oh the DT. Let me see. You're not talking. Okay, you were talking about the Conan the Barbarian soundtrack. So elaborate. What do you mean by DTEP? 'Cause I'm not sure what you're talking about. And then what's this? Um, no, he will at the end of April. Oh, at the end. That's right. At the end of April. That's right. So that's when Larry Graves is going to be talking about ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. And the Dream Theater. Oh yeah, Dream Theater. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Okay, yeah. I do need to listen to more Dream Theater. Again, I haven't gotten around. I have so much to listen to. I still haven't gotten around to that one yet. But I know once I hear a few more good albums from there, because there was the one album from Dream Theater that I did listen to, and I wasn't really. It was when I was on Scott Lade's channel that one time we were talking about the worst prog albums, and there was just one, like the one disappointing prog album from great bands, and I forget the name of it, but it did come up. So, but I'm sure I will love a lot of the other Dream Theater stuff. I just need to dive into it, and it's on my list. it's on my mental list, but again, I'm going to write it down. And I'm going to write down get into Dream Theater. Yeah, because I know I appreciate them. I know I would love them more the more I hear them for sure. I got some more messages here, so I thought the Sparks Greatest Hits 2 CD set past tens. Do you have it? I do have that. I actually have this. I have the 3 disc of the past tense. I have quite a bit of Sparks already. But absolutely, I have the 3 disc one for past tense. Absolutely, necessary. It was one of the very first things I've gotten from Sparks. Besides, of course, propaganda and Kimono My House. I had gotten those first, of course, and so the astonishing is what think you're talking about. Yes, yes, that's the Dream Theater album that I wasn't crazy for, but I still need to listen to that new one. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet, but I will. I will. I'm keeping everything in mind. As I said the last time I made my this live stream, whatever you guys suggest, I do want to eventually try to get around to it. Like sometimes it may not be right away. It could be weeks, months, and maybe even a year from now. But eventually, I do keep everything in mind, and when I see it, like with the prog corner, I there was a couple of suggestions I heard on the prog corner, and if it wasn't for Scott and the prog corner, I probably wouldn't have discovered how much I liked Gentle Giant and need to get some Gentle Giant. I got that Gordy Greep album, the new sound because of that influence because of I heard it on his channel and I love that cover. Something about the yellow and what's happening on the cover is just really, really, yeah, drawing me into it. So like I was saying before, I'm a collector. You know, I love CDs, and I'm always going to be collecting CDs. I am not even done collecting CDs. I have room for at least another 200 to 300 CDs, hands down for sure. I don't care if I run out of room to put them. I will make room to put them because yeah, I love physical media, and that's my collecting. That's what makes me happy. Having music and talking about music. So let's see. As I told Larry, I saw Sparks in 1975 in concert in Boston with the full band. What an experience! Yeah, I know that'd be so awesome. I would love to see even today. I would love like they're going to Toronto and that. So I would love to go. I would love to go in September to see them live if I could afford it, if I could have the opportunity. Absolutely, I would take the opportunity. If they ever came to Moncton, if so many bands ever came to the Maritimes, but they seem to avoid the Maritimes as much as humanly possible. But any concert, like either whether it was Sparks, whether it's Rush, I wish I would have been able to see Rush back in the day when they were still, before they ended up retiring and everything. There's so many bands I wish I could see. I'm so happy I got to see Tool twice for sure. I mean, I got to see Metallica 3 times. I don't need to see Metallica a fourth time. I've had my fill of Metallica, but they're awesome and they were a fun draw and everything. But I want to see more interesting bands like Sparks and like King Gizzard. I would love to go to a King Gizzard show. That would be a blast for sure. Yeah, so many bands I would love to go see. Um, like I hadn't seen the last show I seen. Okay, like of a professional. Like I mean, none. I am not gonna no. Not to say professional because some of the local bands I also seen around here are also professional. I'm talking okay mainstream bands, the popular bands. The last band I saw like that was Metallica. The last really good band I saw, of course, live for me personally was the Great Balancing Act. That was the last great band that I seen live a couple of times actually, and yeah, they knocked it out of the park both times. So, and I don't know if you ever plan to get any more Dio CDs, but oh yes, right, Dream Evil. Yeah, that brings up a spark of a memory. Yeah, I think I do like that. I don't remember it, but yeah, I will keep it in mind. I do love Dio. I mean, I now finally have the Last in Line and Holy Diver, so I'm on the lookout. I'm on the lookout for more Dio. Like I really need to get Mob Rules now. Mob Rules, Paranoid. Those are the two that are really on the top of my list for Black Sabbath that I need to get for sure. Definitely need to get Mob Rules. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And what else? What else do I want to talk about? Like I said, there's like I want to be on here. You know, topic or not, for at least 3 hours. I'm here for you guys to contact me and get to know me as much as you can. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too personal of anything, but I'm willing to answer almost any question you have. Whether I have a band or not, what I've listened to or not. If I haven't listened to it, I'm going to be honest with you and say, hey, I'm sorry, I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm trying. I'm trying to get as much stuff as possible. So I mean, when somebody had asked me whether I was going to be getting any John Lennon, I said no. I'm going to be focusing on Paul McCartney mostly until I saw that and said, no, I need to get some John Lennon, and I will be picking up some actual albums of John Lennon eventually too, even if I don't have like all the necessary Paul McCartney stuff, because that's not going to be a very fast collection that I'm starting with those bands, with the soloist. So, but I do want them, and whenever I get the opportunity, they will be going into my collection. So yeah, gonna have a sip of it's just root beer in here. In case you haven't seen this yet, this is my little tumbler I got from Spin It. It's actually kind of a one of a kind. They haven't. It's the wife of the owner that runs it, Carol Barter. She's the one that made these up, and she knew, like, yeah, I'm a Tool fan, and of course I was the first one to grab it. I love it, so it's really good. So, and it's perfect. They got the right quote on the right album, because that quote is on 10,000 Days. Oh, wow. Let me see. Farewell to King's Tour and Sweet and oh yeah, yeah. I do want to. That's another band I need to get into. I'm writing them all down. I'm writing them all down. Uriah Heep. Uriah Heep. I'm aware of some Uriah Heep stuff, of course, but that's another band that I really want to get, sampling more of. But the problem with me is I don't really like using Spotify. I very rarely use Spotify. I use Spotify for the album requests for the Patreon that I have with Larry Graves. But besides that, I've used it to sample a couple of things here and there, like the Kim Deal, for example. I used it for that, and another thing or two. But I like getting albums. I like seeing if I can find the albums out in the wild. If I can go into a store, like I find that the stores around here, from like the music stores, whether it's like whether they have some new stuff or not, I find they're so selective. Like they don't like Sunrise Records. I go into Sunrise Records and Bob Mold has a new album out, like a brand new album out. like that again. I was surprised that they had the new Franz Ferdinand. I was not expecting a new Franz Ferdinand to be out, and for that, but I keep going into Sunrise Records and asking if they have the brand new Bob Mold record. Like it just came out this year, and nope, they don't have it. So they don't always have stuff I'm really looking for when it comes to music. I mean, they have a lot of Frank Zappa though. Like Sunrise Records has a whole pile of Frank Zappas at a really decent price. I mean, they have a lot of them for about $20 each. Like especially like apostrophe. So like I'm hankering on getting apostrophe from Frank Zappa really soon if I can get probably on my next paycheck, which is I think on the second of next month of May. But yeah, I mean, I have the money right now for it, but I don't want to spend that right yet. I do have my music budget, and I'm sticking within that. I do have some Bob Dylan. Actually, they were all a gift from Larry Graves. When he sent me a box, I was meaning to get some Bob Dylan anyway, but he sent me these. He sent me. I mean, of course, you have to have the greatest hits because that is fantastic. I do love everything on that. It has all the best stuff. But I also got this, which I really enjoy. I really enjoyed that, and this too is not too bad. It's my least favorite out of the Bob Dylans I have. I mean, I find this a little bit better than this, but it's still a pretty decent album. I do like it. I need to listen to it again. Oh, okay. I need to listen to it again. It's going in my box. It's going in the box. I have room there for it. So yep. But I have played this a few times and I do enjoy that. I think it's great. And of course, I'm very very well versed and familiar with this. But again, I still would like to play this eventually again too, for sure, because it's really good stuff. But that's the thing with having them here. I could just change my mind at the you know on a moment's notice and just put that in if I feel like it. Even if I have other stuff I want to play, whether I want to play a Sparks album or even a Tool album if I feel inclined. I just can put just anything in. Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. I exactly. I will be listening to that again. That's why I put it. That's why I put it in my heavy rotations box because I will be playing that again for sure. For sure, because I know it. I know I enjoyed it. What else you guys wanna talk about? So yeah, pretty much any topic, especially with music. But yeah, I need to get more Dylan. There's actually some older stuff I want to get and stuff. Like I said, even like there's so much stuff I need to get. I need to get more David Bowie. I need to get more. Like I said, the Frank Zappas for sure. I do want more Frank Zappas. I want my collection to grow. I really enjoy having my CDs. When I lived I had CDs when I lived in Montreal. I lived in Montreal for 10 and a half years. I had CDs up there, okay? But in about, I think it was 20, in around 2011, I moved back home to New Brunswick here from Montreal, and I didn't have anything. I barely had any CDs at all. Maybe 2 or 3 CDs. And I found a job right away at the movie theater, and from there I had to restart my collection all over again from scratch, all over right from the beginning. So it my all this collection, my 700 plus albums that I own now, I had just started collecting them in starting in 2012. So from 2012 to 20 from yeah from 2012 to 2025, between those years, that's where all my collection especially getting old stuff that I needed. So how many Zappas could I possibly? Okay, wait. With how many albums Zappa has, I could probably have 20 of his albums and would still feel like I don't have enough. True, because he has so many. I know I know the particular ones I'm focused on getting. I mean, the ones that I know and hear that people talk about more often than the other ones. If there's other albums that I see that I don't know this one as much because I don't hear people talking about them. If they're talking about, like when they were talking about the Great Wazoo, I had to get the Grand Wazoo. Um, and I do need to get Apostrophe. That one's I'm familiar with, and I know I do like it. And yeah, pretty much anything from Frank Zappa that I know that people has talked about that I remember. Like, yeah, they gave that one a praise. They gave that one a praise. Those are the ones I will be getting first and foremost, no matter what. And then after those, if I see any around at a really decent price that's like a peripheral, I'll get those too because I'm always interested in getting new music. You know, and there's what I like about Frank Zappa. Okay, is I'm also a big fan of Steve Vai. And I know that Steve Vai, before really kind of doing his solo stuff, he did work with Frank Zappa on a few albums, and you can definitely hear so much of the inspiration that Steve Vai took from Frank Zappa. Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I I could get to that. I could get to that point too. My love for CDs might be a little bit of an obsession. I had made a video a while back saying asking if I'm a CD hoarder, and I definitely am. Yeah, I exactly. Steve I, Joe Satriani, those are my two favorite guitarists. I mean, I have a big respect and love for Stevie Ray Vaughan, of course, but he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But Steve I and Joe Satriani, they still are, and they're still making fantastic music even today. You know, there's so many great guitarists, but they are two of my all-time favorites. I mean, I have this here of Steve Vai. Okay, it was the very first thing I've ever heard from Steve Vai was this album, Flexible, and this is the 36th anniversary edition. And this album in particular, you play this album, and it's Frank Zappa. All of this album is such a reminiscent and I'm sure it's a huge tribute to Frank Zappa because this sounds like Frank Zappa right out. So let's see here. I just picked up Frank Zappa Strictly Commercial because I wanted the track Muffin Man. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna pick it up. I'll pick it up Strictly Commercial for sure. For sure. I'm always interested in new, unique, and interesting music, regardless of uh, all the Frank Zappa I gotten from you. Well, from you, Robert. It's just it tickles me. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and hearing the inspiration from that this album took from those albums especially the albums that I got from you. I got how much do I love the Cheap Thrills, the first Cheap Thrills album. I mean, I know it's the greatest hits, but it has such awesome stuff on it. It's one of my favorite Zappas that I have so far to play because it's just spectacular. Yeah, yeah. Frank Zappa, Strictly Commercial. So you probably gave me those ones there, the ones that I have now. from you because you probably got some sort of box set or something. That's what I would suspect. Or you just got like better versions of them or something like that. I don't care. I'm just really thankful to have them and yeah, they're awesome. Oh yeah, that would have been not that. But that see that would have been wild back in the day. If only I had lived in a certain time in a certain place to be able to experience a lot of these bands, like that. That would be the day. Because oh yeah, Danger Money tour with Aerosmith at the yeah. That's see again. All of that would have been awesome. I mean, I was a big Aerosmith fan back in the day for sure. I mean, it kind of started with a Permanent Vacation, and unfortunately, yeah. Well, I mean, one of also there was Walk This Way with the Run DMC. That was a big attraction back then. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I need to go see some bigger shows. I really do. I mean, the local venues are awesome around here, but I do need to see like a big show with a lot of people, a big band with maybe a little bit of pyrotechnics here and there, or a nice light show or something. I mean, yeah, my dream concert again would be to see Tool again, at least one more time. I would love to have a trifecta of seeing Tool three times in my before my life is over for sure. I would love. It would be a dream come true seeing Sparks. Yeah, definitely would be a dream come true seeing Sparks. Love to see them or any band that I if I have the money, and I'm saving money right now for like a new computer. I do have money put away. I want to up my game for my channel and everything, and try to do some editing. Try to do some cool artwork, like some computer artwork. I'm still working on making music for sure. Absolutely. I've been wanting to bring out my I've been itching to bring out my Casio because I have that put away in the box. I'm only taking it out when I absolutely need to, like because I want to keep it in the best condition possible. But I seriously want to sit down one day for at least a few hours, at least 3, 4 hours, and really like work on making music with the Casio. I'm hoping that when I get the new computer, then I'll have a music program that I can hook up with the Casio and really make some interesting, awesome music with you. I know that I can do it. Uh, from what I've worked on so far, it's very encouraging, and I can't wait to someday, hopefully sooner rather than later, show you what I'm doing on that Casio. Absolutely. So, what else do you guys want to know? Like I said, ask me anything. So, I love all the responses I've been getting so far from you guys. I'm this is a really so far I'm considering this a really successful live stream. Uh, yeah, I thank you all for showing up for sure. You guys are the best, and there's a few others. There's a few others for sure. I know. Yeah, I know you guys here because you guys are all really good friends. Okay, here's what I'm going to do for you guys because you guys are cool. Let's see if I can't do that. How do I do that? I want to make because I really want to make you guys. No, yeah, I really want to make you guys moderators if I can. I don't see how I can do that right at the moment, but if I once I'm able to, I want to make you guys. Yeah, I want to make you guys moderators for sure. I think that I think that'd be cool. Oh, I got Christopher. Hi, Christopher. I listened to all the Zappa's albums a few years ago and did a best of one song per album or a maximum of 3 songs per album. Eventually, that'd be cool to do. That would take some time, though. Once I retire, I know it's 11 more years, but once I retire and can dedicate so much more time to just talking about music and doing these videos and doing art full time, rather than having an evening job the way I do, I would love to do that. I would just love to be able to go into the deep dives. Sometimes when I'm making a video, it's pretty much I kind of have to speed through it a little bit. That's why today I wanted to make the time to spend at least 3 hours, slow things down, and and hang out with you guys. Because sometimes I feel, unfortunately, and I put the restraint on myself a little bit, that I feel a little rushed. I always wish I could give you a better quality, a little bit of a more thorough, more concise, precise, type of video here and there. Because you guys are awesome. I love the interaction. For me, it always, I'll tell you where it really stems from, me wanting to do this channel, and I loved growing up hanging out, with especially back in the day with my best friend Little Mo, hanging out in his room, putting CDs on, and even doing those stupid, silly, playing air guitar and lip syncing, and putting on a show for each other sometimes, and pretending to be on stage, and feeling what it would be like to play music in that. So, and that's why I love doing this channel with you guys here. So, okay, the cool thing about seeing Frank Zappa with Captain Beefheart in Boston was the captain playing his harmonica with Zappa. Bongo Fury tour. Yeah, I know about that. And if I ever see that album too, I think I saw it there. Did I see that there? That's going to go up a little bit higher on my list. I wouldn't mind getting Bongo Fury. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be awesome seeing that. Absolutely. All that stuff is all that stuff would be killer. 1975. 1975. Let me see. Yeah, you're probably asking when that Zappa Beefheart thing was going on. So I'm not sure what the question for 1975 refers to exactly, but I'm pretty sure you might be referring to this, right? The Frank Zappa with the Captain Beefheart in Boston. If so, let me know. 'Cause, yeah, I want to know what you mean by 1975. I'm pretty sure that's what you're referring to. But yeah, yeah. Kiss again, Kiss. If I would have been able to go see Kiss, one of my favorite bands as a kid, I never had the opportunity, and even when they were able to come, you know, I still hadn't had. I still wasn't able to go, and I wish I would have been able to go. That would have been awesome. So many bands that I really wish that I would have seen. So many. I mean, I love the ones I've seen, but yeah, I mean, I've seen Alice Cooper, and it's sad to say, but Alice Cooper was one of my least favorite shows that I went to see. It it just wasn't as grandiose as I was expecting it to be. I thought the stage would have been bigger. I thought the production would have been a little bit better. I mean, they didn't play as much of the classic songs as I wish they would have played. So, yeah. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. So yeah, is your guess is as good as mine, but I would say so. That's probably when that concert was going on for sure. Yeah, seventies has some wild music. As much as I'm an '80s person, because of being a Gen Xer and my teenage years and the influence of my teenage years, there's still something special about all that music that was coming out in the '70s. When I was in my adolescence. Between the ages of 1 and 9. That's the '70s for me. So my memories of the '70s are a bit hazy, because I was so young. and I was so focused on Kiss, you know, basically Kiss being my favorite band throughout that whole '70s. Yeah, that's probably what kept me away from seeing the Sparks and the Beefhearts, and I don't even know if I was aware of Beefheart back then. I know I was aware of like stuff like Alice Cooper and and then later on there was what's his name there, Meatloaf, yeah, Meatloaf is awesome. So I was focused on a lot of that stuff, and of course a lot of the '60s and '50s music my dad was playing on, that he was taping from the radio. I got exposed to a lot of that, and love all that, and still getting some of that. But I wish I would have been into Zappa a lot earlier. I don't think it was until the late '80s when I first when Zappa was first on my radar, and the very first thing that came on my radar for Zappa was Joe's Garage. Joe's Garage, I think, was the very first thing I heard of Zappa, and maybe heard a little bit from it, but not the whole thing until I actually got to own it. Okay. Funny thing about the Zappa was my father turned me on to him and wanted me to see him 1970. So I went to Ravenna, Illinois, Highland Park. Whoa, way back in '70. I wasn't even born yet. I wasn't even born yet. So yeah. And Joe's Garage has some great stuff. It has a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of great music on there. I mean, I do love the what is it called? Easter watermelon and hay. Let's take that out here. Let's take out the Frank Zappa's. Yeah, yeah. Watermelon and Easter hay. So it's such a great album. That was the first thing I ended up getting from Frank Zappa for sure. And this wasn't even on the rack. This was behind the counter. As I was about to leave from after my purchases, okay, I already bought my 3 CDs. Renee, who's one of the cashiers there at Spin It, was like, "Do you like Joe's? Do you like the Zappa? Do you want to? Would you like Joe's Garage?" And yeah, I could not pass up the deal. It was like $14, but I don't care. It was so worth getting. And then of course, Robert sends me um these 4 CDs of Hot Rats. We're only in it for the money, and the Cheap Thrills and Son of Cheap Thrills, which I absolutely adore all of that. So and then eventually after that, I ended up getting the Grand Wazoo, and now I need so much more. I need to get yeah, I need to get Apostrophe. I think that's what's coming next. Is Apostrophe within the next week or so. I might do it this weekend. I might actually go down and get it this weekend. Some like in the next day or so for sure, because I do need Apostrophe, and then that will be my budget. That'll be the rest of my budget until next month, until like the around the 2nd of May. That then I'll be able to you know afford to get some more CDs, because I want to get as many CDs as possible for absolutely sure. So again, anything you guys want to know, just let me know, and I'll you know. Oh hey. Hey, Larry. See, now he's a moderator. Absolutely. The next Zappa album I need to get is Overnight Sensation or Apostrophe. Yeah, no, Apostrophe is the next one on my list for sure. Overnight Sensation. Yep, that is on my list, top of my list for sure. Yeah, those are the two I want the most. Both are great rock albums with a lot of amazing guitar solos. That's what I'm looking for too. I am actually looking for more stuff with guitar solos. Um, did you want to come on my channel, Larry? Do you have the time to? If you don't, I understand. But if you want to come on my channel, uh, I'm definitely game. Oh, that's good to know. That's awesome. I do need to get some Tina Turner. You know, there's a few female artists I do actually enjoy and wouldn't mind getting. Maybe not all their stuff, but at least some of their more important work, like Tina Turner, even a little bit of Cyndi Lauper, maybe even a tiny bit of Pat Benatar. Oh, well, let's see here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, no problem at all. That's okay. Yeah, I saw that thing with Monty. Yeah, again, that's a good thing to remind people. Monty is that he retired now, but basically from his like normal day job, and now he'll be doing his Sparks channel like pretty much full time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming with that. So that's cool that Larry's going to be doing a live chat today with Monty. If I'm not once I'm done with my live stream here, if you're doing it after my live stream, because I should be going until about 6 o'clock, which would be 5 o'clock your time, Larry, at the latest. So if you're doing it kind of after that, that would be cool. Or you're probably just filming it ahead of time, right? Okay, the last time. Alright, cool, cool, always cool. Oh no, I'm not giving up on Kim Deal. I do want that. I mean, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and I did listen to the whole thing on Spotify. That was one of the few things that I did listen to the whole thing. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, your show is going to be posted next week, and you're pre-recorded. Definitely, definitely, I will be checking it out for sure. Because I wouldn't want to miss that. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool for sure. Yeah, I'm so happy to see Monty back in action on because he wasn't making videos for a little bit. Now I know why. Now I know why. It's all great. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Absolutely. I thought it was good too. I played it at least twice and I enjoyed it, but I wanted to give it to you because I knew you would enjoy it more than me because you're a bigger Lou Reed fan than I am. But I did enjoy it and eventually would be looking into getting some Lou Reed probably here and there because I do like it. Yes, yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the more I sample here and there, I haven't dived into it, but the little bit that I hear, snippets here and there that I have heard from it, I do like a lot of his songs, you know. So yeah, I'm looking into getting some Lou Reed for sure, for sure. But I wanted to give that particular DVD to Larry because I knew he would appreciate it, and yeah, it's all good. So like I said, I'm still going to be here for 2 more hours, 2 more hours. So hopefully I don't run out of stuff to talk about. Let's see. It's hard though. So many great artists, so little time. That is the dilemma. That is the dilemma right there. You hit it right on the head. There's so many, and I do want to get into so much music. Before there was a little bit of restraint and saying, there's so like again with and and even Larry at one point kind of before he got into it, he was saying the same thing that with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard to get into their album, to start collecting their stuff, it's an undertaking because it's an investment. You need to invest the money and the time that it takes to collect that album. Especially they made so many albums in such a short period of time. You keep asking yourself, is it worth getting into? Is this a band that I'm going to keep interested in, or am I eventually going to get bored of it and it's just going to sit on bookcase, or wherever I store them, and just sit there. So I try to make a conscious effort to play the stuff that I wouldn't necessarily be able to get to. I really do. At least once a week. Okay, I try to get twice a week. Okay, but at least once a week I put in something on my player that I wouldn't necessarily want to feel like playing, but I just do it anyway, just so I can get around to playing some of those other stuff that I don't think I might get around to again. But yeah, I still wonder what's not going to be played, what's not going to ever get played again, and if I would have been better off getting rid of it or not. But I love music so much. Have you ever seen Frank Zappa Halloween box set? It's priced about $100. No, have I seen some? I think I've seen a couple of separate CDs from that. I'm pretty sure when I looked at Sunrise Records, I seen a couple of little CDs about that. I didn't really look at the prices. I was more focused on looking at some of the more important ones. But like I had it in mind to buy Apostrophe, but I had to take another look around, just one more quick look around. And when I saw the new Franz Ferdinand, I had to get it I want to keep my Franz Ferdinand collection complete. I know for a fact that I have the complete collection of all the Franz Ferdinand's studio albums and then some. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah, like I was saying, sometime this week I am going to go and get some more Frank Zappa. I do want Apostrophe. Yeah, Apostrophe or what was it? Yeah, where was it? That what he's what Larry had suggested there. Apostrophe and what's the other one again? Apostrophe and it's just on the tip of my tongue. Overnight sensation. Yeah, overnight sensation. Yeah. I need to write that down. I'm gonna. Do I know FFZ overnight sensation. Yeah. I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget that. That's the whole reason for this notebook is so I can write these things down. It's only dedicated to writing down music I need to get into. Yeah, so I'm going to start that for sure. No, I use books all the time. I use notebooks all the time. I bought a whole bunch of them. I bought like 4 of them yesterday. So I have enough to jot things down. Ever since I've been jotting things down, it does help. But yeah, if I could, I may one day look into getting the Halloween box set. I mean, there's so much to get. There's so much to get. Again, I know I keep asking, but ask me anything. No, that's what I'm here for. So if I don't have, like I said, if I don't have something, I probably will want to look into it, and especially if I don't know it. Yeah. I'm not gonna like I made just decision to shy away from listening to new music, regardless of what I think or not. I can't make any judgments until I actually get a chance to listen to it. Like you'll hear a certain band or something, and you think, am I going to get interested in that? Does that sound appetizing? Do I have anything of the Who? I only I only got what Larry Graves sent me, which is where is that? Right here. Oh, so what I have is the Who's Next. That's the only thing I have of the Who. I will get more, but this is a great place to start. It has 2 discs and it has so much special features and bonus stuff on it. I actually really enjoyed that. I actually I really do like that second disc too of the live stuff. It is really cool. But yeah, I like to have that. I like having that. I really do want to get live at Leeds. Yeah, live at Leeds would be another one I would really love to get for sure. Do I have any? Great. See, these are great questions. No, I don't have any Van der Graaf generator yet. But King Crimson, I do have a few of those. I'm gonna have so much stuff to put away. You're making me take everything out here, but I don't mind. I like that. Where did I put those? Right here. So the first thing I ever got for I had this for a while from King Crimson was the Vroom Vroom. Yeah, Vroom Vroom. Um, Oh, I've heard live at Leeds, and I think it's excellent. I really love it. Actually, my good friend Robert Cormier had had lent it to me, and I was able to play it, and I loved it. I loved it. But this was the first thing I had gotten of King Crimson, which is two shows. It's kind of damaged, but I don't care. The CDs still really play well, but it has that Vroom Vroom, and it has the New York stuff. Yeah, so live in Mexico and live in New York. So I'm happy to have that. Then I ended up because I really do love some of those songs on there. I needed to get Thrax because this has Dinosaur on it. This has Sex, Sleep, Eat, Drink, Dream on there. It has Thrax. It has a couple of it has Vroom Vroom Code Marina 475 on there. Excellent stuff. And of course, the last thing I had to get Court of the Crimson King. Absolutely, this is great. This is good. I even liked Moonchild. I didn't like it the first time. I thought it was a kind of a lull in the album until you get to song 5, in the Court of the Crimson King. Yeah, I love that. And it wouldn't be this album if you didn't have those low moments. It really, in its own way, it makes the album what it is. It really does, and it kind of highlights those good songs, like the first song of 21st Century Schizoid Man, and that last song, "The Court of the Crimson King." I mean, those are the bookends, and everything in between is just gravy. I the more I play this, the better it gets. I do actually really enjoy all of this, everything. I don't even mind Moonchild. Moonchild is still pretty good, still really pretty good. So I don't mind that. You know, yeah. But like I said, what kind of really impressed me, what I thought was a really fun listen was Love, listening to Love, because yeah, it just I love. I mean, I love how many songs there is in a row. It's a nice long album, so when I want to listen to a lot of good, just a lot of really good Beatles songs all in a row, this is a great thing, and it's more mellow. And what I also love about this album is it has a continuous flow. It's not just song after song, with breaks in between. All the songs flow into each other. There's no break between the songs, and I love that. I love that they did that for this, and that's what makes very enjoyable and such a surprise. I was surprised. Yeah, sorry about that. It's my signal is not the strongest, but that doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm here as long as I can. So anything else? Anything else I can talk about? Like, challenge me a little bit. Anything old, anything new? Because I have a lot of different kind of music. If you want to talk about if you watch my channel enough, you know what I have. You should know what I have for music. And if you, any opinion that I have that you want to hear, especially music, especially music. If you want to talk about movies, but I haven't really seen much movies in the last 4 or 5 years, especially in the last 2 years, like 2.5 years doing this YouTube channel, of course. But anything you want to know about movies, I hear the Minecraft movie is actually doing really good. Not really interested in that. I don't. There's not really much. I'm actually very, very interested in seeing the new Fantastic Four movie. Me being a Marvel fan, I miss going to see uh, Deadpool and Wolverine in the theaters, and I really wanted to go see that. I'm really waiting to see Beyond the Spider Verse, the last Spider Verse animated Spider-Man movie. I love the first two. I have those on DVD, and I just can't wait. I am dying to see a 3D movie. I love 3D movies, and I haven't seen 3D movies in some time. So I'm still going to go for another couple of hours. No, I don't care how many people are watching me. I had a few of you guys watching me at one point, so I'm really happy. Oh, I love hearing from you. So send me comments. The first discovered King Crimson on the radio, 1969, 20th Schizoid Man, and bought record. And yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine hearing that for the first time, especially back then. Especially back then, because there was King Crimson, and I can also equate that with the Pink Floyd. Hearing hearing Pipers at the Gates of Dawn for the first time would have been pretty comparable, I would think, to listening to 21st Century Schizoid Man the first time. That would have been mind blowing. You know, I would like or even though or seeing Beatles on Ed Sullivan or or that, or seeing Rush way back in the day when they were just rocking in '78. Oh, that what tour would that been from? In Alpine Valley, the '78. That would have been what? 2112 or Farewell to Kings? '78. So, welcome Brad Moore to the channel. You're new. I haven't seen you before here, so thank you. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, Brad, please do because I would greatly appreciate it and love you forever for sure. But yeah, elaborate. What concert was that? Because that's how I'm not familiar with the dates and the time, but the more of the show, what tour it was. So yeah, because any era, for me personally, any era of Rush would have been great. Would have been great. Whether it would have been like early Rush or later Rush, it doesn't matter. Oh wow, Brad Moore at the same concert as him. Well, yeah, oh yeah, that's good. That's a kind of a cool coincidence, wouldn't it? If you guys were at the same concert. That's interesting. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to see any show from Rush. I have all the Rush stuff, and plus many DVD concerts of Rush. I have at least, well, I mean, on DVD, I got 10 different live shows of Rush here and there. There's my times three. Oh yeah, there's just so much Rush stuff I have. All their collection. I love Rush. Mhm. I'm so glad that guy got me into Rush and one of my ex roommates in Montreal for sure. They're my they're my fourth favorite band. You know, or my five favorite bands right now of all time. Just so for those who don't know, top, of course, the number one band is Tool. My second favorite band is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. My third favorite band is Sparks. My fourth favorite band is Rush. Okay, and I'm not, and all by a smidge, all by a little smidge. They're all really, really close together. And my fifth favorite band is Bell and Sebastian. Yeah, just for like some of the bands is also just for the sheer variety and the virtuosity of how many different sounds and genres they can tackle, like especially with King Gizzard and and Sparks, how many different styles and genres of music that they cover. You know, it really has a wide spectrum of everything that I love in music, you know. And yeah, I think music should be a little bit challenging. Maybe not overly challenging. Some music can really, you know, press you hard to like it. But sometimes the most rewarding albums are those that are just a little bit challenging to listen to. That's what I think. You know, that that and Glenn Calloway had quoted a really great quote from Sting, which means if you don't do any interesting changes within the first 8 bars of a song, then you know you're gonna lose me. You know, it can consider boring. You need to keep it interesting. Ah, another radio. Sweet Leaf. Sweet Leaf. That song, okay, right now, that song, it's been floating to the top lately of one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs of all time. I'm really really loving Sweet Leaf, especially that last time I heard it. You know, it had because I was I was listening to it in the earphones. I had no other distractions. I was a little bit on the lettuce, and and it hit me in such a awesome way, and it was like it's like oh so on like so like gnarly heavy, and like yeah I really love it. Hey, thought it was Led Zeppelin and bought that album at Paul. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine thinking it was Led Zeppelin in a way, especially if that's the first Black Sabbath song you heard. Now I can't really hear the similarities exactly. Well, now that I'm thinking of it, like would I have confused that for Led Zeppelin, as some people did with with uh with maybe Sparks, or even or especially Rush. At first, like especially in Cleveland, Ohio, when Working Man came out, and just the song that made Rush a household name, what really actually kind of put them on the map. I yeah, and then that was the Loop radio station in Illinois. Yeah, see, I don't know any of those radio stations from the states. Being a Canadian from the province of New Brunswick, that's pretty much where I was born and raised. I've never left Canada, and so I didn't get really hear a lot of radio stations from the United States. Not really, but we had some really rocking radio stations that did play a lot of good rock and roll. I know there's a radio station I used to listen to up in Montreal all the time called Chum. I think it was called Chum Radio, and one of their favorite bands was, of course, they always had to play at least one Rush song per day, because it was that radio station's favorite band. You know, the pride of Canada, as they would say. They loved Rush on that radio station, especially that whole time that I was living up in Montreal. I could always guarantee to hear a Rush song on that channel at one point during the day for sure. So yeah, but I have not listened to the radio station in a long time. for me, the biggest source of looking for new music that I loved was Much Music. I mean, the states had MTV, right? But when I first started seeing Much Music, and that was my favorite channel for at least for a good 10 straight years of TV channels. Much Music was my favorite channel of all time, and I always had it to Much Music as often as possible. Yeah, I rather listen to Much Music than watch any other kind of daytime TV. Like, who cares about soap opera? Who cares about game shows? Like, especially during the daytime, like especially staying home from school sick, and you were able to watch some daytime TV. Never watched the soap operas and that. No, if I could, I have it on Much Music. Much Music the whole day. Yeah, that would have been my. That's what I did for sure. Because that was my biggest source of music. My biggest source of music for sure was Much Music. Right now, if it wasn't for the copyright claims and stuff, and if my if my microphone on my computer could handle it, I would have music playing in the background right now. I hate that I can't really have music playing in the background and be able to like have a cool mix of stuff here and there, like to show you some cool stuff for music. Like I like this and I like that, you know. I just love hanging around, hanging out, and talking about music of all kinds. So again, ask me anything, any music question you have, or anything else. Doesn't matter really. Yeah, I that's what today is for. I'm kind of celebrating. I am celebrating in my own way Easter. Again, I'm not the most religious person, but I do get the holiday and will celebrate it anyway, in spite of its meaning to me or not. Because I know people are, it's important to people, and so I will. I will celebrate it in my way, and that's why I'm going live today. Not just oh wait, Dark. I used to watch Dark Shadows after school, a spooky soap opera. Yeah, that was one of the better ones that I really kind of wish I would have watched more of. I was aware of it and did like it when I did check it out here and there. And I kind of didn't like what they did with the movie. I don't think Johnny Depp played that right. He was still playing one of his more familiar characters. I don't think the movie landed quite right. I did enjoy the movie somewhat, but as a live as a mainstream blockbuster movie of that TV show, the TV show was probably better. Yeah. So Dark Shadows, I like Dark Shadows. Like I said, I haven't watched a lot of it, but I am aware of it and thought it was fun. I do wish I would have watched more of it for sure. Absolutely, Dark Shadows. Yeah. It would have been a good one. Probably that. I would even say that's probably the for me personally. I would consider that the best soap opera because of the whole vampire thing. Speaking of vampires, a TV show that you'd be surprised that that I'm kind of really into, that I actually kind of liked when I was able to check it out. I only checked out the first couple of seasons, the first 2 3 seasons, but I really wish I would have finished the series. Is the Vampire Diaries? Is it Vampire Diaries? The TV show one. It was a cool TV show. I think it's Vampire Diaries. It wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed that, and we'd love to catch up on that eventually one day. Once I'm retired and have more time. I don't have any time to watch any TV or any movies or any TV shows at the moment, because I I think for the longest time, even today, even when I was going to see movies and working at the movie theater, I still would spend more of my money trying to buy music. I spend more money on music than I ever did on buying movies, and and when I would buy movie box sets and that, I would actually try to buy them secondhand. I could You could buy almost a whole series of something for like $10, $20 at the pawn shops. BOC. Uh, what's that? BOC have some great vampire songs. Oh yeah, Bachman. Oh wait, BOC. Who's BOC again? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Vampire songs. Oh, new to streaming or looking to level up. Check out StreamYard and get $10. No, actually, no, I'm not. Share your referral link. No. Oh yes, Blue Oyster. I should have known that. I don't know why I had a brain fart for that. Yes, of course, Blue Oyster Cult. Yes, they do. Don't yeah, I mean even Don't Fear the Reaper is still kind of in that vein in some ways, right? That's right. They do have some of the darker, more spookier kind of vampire songs and stuff. I need to get into Blue Oyster Cult more. I'm only more familiar with some of their hits in that, like the stuff from the radio and stuff. But I should look into Blue Oyster Cult. Another band I'm going to write down in my list of stuff I need to look into. So okay, Blue Oyster Cult, excellent. So yeah, that is now on my radar for sure. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, yeah. I do like the band. Everything I've heard from them so far, they're good. I just need to hear more. Absolutely. Uh, Anything else you guys want to know? I'm not quitting until 6 o'clock. I am here to answer whatever questions you may have. To a point, But I am here until at least for another hour and a half. It's just a little over an hour and a half. Like I said, I'm going until six. Atlantic Daylight Time. That's 6 o'clock my time. Right now it's 4:27 my time. So I'm here for yeah. I'm only halfway through. Only halfway through. I made sure I had a nice meal before I started, so I wasn't going to get hungry. During this and that. Made sure I have some pop, some root beer. I've been drinking a lot more. Yeah, here's something. I've been drinking a lot more pop lately. At the corner store, there's just a kind of the next street over from here. Okay, they have a sale, or you can get two of the Big Eight here. That's a Canadian brand. It's an Atlantic Canada brand. I'll show you the English side here. See, made with the Atlantic Pride Big Eight Pop. That's what we have here in New Brunswick. And two bottles like this. So I have a root beer, and I also have a pineapple pop in the fridge. That's it's only four, yeah, not counting tax and deposit, $4 for two liters. So you get four liters of pop for just a little under $5. And then I mean that's not a bad deal, and I don't mind the taste of them. I find that the taste is it's more subtle than your name brand pops. Like if I was to get A&W or Barks or something like that, it would have just a little bit more of a stronger bite than this does. But for what it is and for the price, is actually a very decent substitute. So I'm a fan. I just drink a little bit too much of the Big Eight Pop lately. So yeah, but yeah, for that price, you can't go wrong. I try to moderate my pop intake. I don't like. I may drink I just basically drink like a half. Yeah, basically a half a bottle, maybe one. Yeah, about a liter, maybe sometimes a liter and a half of pop per day. So I mean, it's still quite a bit, but it's not like 2 liters every day, like guaranteed. I try to moderate it. That's basically the right now the only pop intake I have. So yeah, so that's what I'm drinking. And if I get a little snackage, I have a again. This is a feature at Dollarama. We have Titan bars and we have Meteor bars, and these bars, okay, you can mix and match. These bars are $1 something, just a little over $1 for two. So you can get two bars. I can get two Titan bars for $1. They're 50 cents each. And so I mean, if you're into chocolate bars, and I'm not too often, every once in a while. I mean, this is actually given to me yesterday by my best friend Little Mo. I biked down to his place to help him put on his chain on his bicycle. He was having a hard time, so I went to help him with that. But it was an excuse for me personally to hang out with him because I don't mind hanging out with my best friend. And it was a fun afternoon. Really nice out yesterday. It was nice and warm. Excuse me, a little bit of a wind, but that didn't matter. So, and because I helped him with the bike, he said, "I got a little gift for you, something I know you'll like," and he hands me that. It's like, okay, 50 cents, but it doesn't matter. It's a nice little treat, and I'm going to eat that eventually later. But that, yeah, but I was just saying that this is a stuff you can get at Dollarama, and it's pretty cool deals when you get it. Any questions? I want to answer questions. I want you again. I want to get to know you guys. I want to hear about cool stuff that you guys done. Any, even suggestions. If you have suggestions for stuff I should listen to, if you have any cool information about bands and stuff that I don't know, I love that. Anything you want to know from me about what I like in music and that, like I said, I'm pretty much an open book. There we go. And talking about Blue Oyster Cult, I'm sure. Saw them 4 times in concert, Chicago 3 times, Florida 1 time, and I saw them the first time they backed up. They backed up for Joe Walsh Barnstorm. Yeah, yeah. Joe Walsh. Speaking of Joe Walsh, where is that? It's not far. I think it's right over here. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Joe Walsh, I gotta listen to that again because there is some Barnstorm stuff on here. There's some stuff with the James Gang on here too, but I really really enjoyed this. This is all the Joe Walsh I have at the moment, but I am very keen on in getting more Joe Walsh, whether it's with Barnstorm or with the other band there. Yeah, I want to get more. Definitely, definitely. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Um, yeah, I need to listen. Yeah, mm, that has to go in the box. Okay, now my box, my box is full. There's more than 12 stuff in here right now. Okay, my box of heavy rotations, music I need to get to, that is full. I know, I know. I looked again. I looked at a few of the Jeff Beck. I did actually. Speaking of Yardbirds, that's something I had gotten recently. Where did I put that? Yeah, that was something I. Yeah, speaking of Jeff Beck, I do at least have some Yardbirds. I do got Yardbirds for sure. I mean, I got it specifically for Heart Full of Soul and Shapes of Things mainly, but everything else is really great on this. I actually do enjoy this too. So yeah, so I wouldn't mind getting some more Yardbirds because I do actually enjoy it and more. Uh, yeah, I need more Jeff Beck stuff for sure. I need to sample Truth. Okay, yeah, I'm writing that down. Jeff Beck Truth. Jeff Beck Truth. Excellent. So very similar. Oh, here we go. Very similar to Led Zeppelin 1, except he did it first. Oh, okay, okay. I'll keep that in mind when I hear it for sure. Um, do I have that? Was that on there? Psycho Daisies? No, I don't have that on here. I am going to have to check that out. Okay, like Yardbirds, Psycho Daisies, Yardbirds. I'm putting the asterisk next to that because I want to hear that song sooner rather than later. Psycho Daisies. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm taking notes. Truth has a heavier reimagining of shapes of things. Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, I definitely will be checking that out for sure. Then 'cause that's one of my favorite Yardbirds. Like I said, that and "Heart Full of Soul" are my two favorite Yardbird songs for sure that I know of, and and mostly because I really loved Rush's covers of those because they took both of those songs like "Shapes of Things" and "Heart Full of Soul," and they kick ass covers that Rush did on their feedback album. Love that album. I love that album, and keep wanting to play that a little bit more and more. Every now and then because it is really good. Um, So it's on Yardbird Rarities. Okay, okay. I'm sure Spotify is going to have it though. If it's not, I will be looking for that. I will be, yeah, I will be getting some Yardbirds, absolutely for sure. And I do want to check into more Jeff Beck because I do love his guitar playing. I know of him and I know of his guitar playing, but not enough, not enough, not even close to being enough. You know, there's so many great guitar players. Who would be your most underrated guitar player? Who do you think should get more respect as a guitar player? I have a as I really have a soft spot as guitar players go. Even when you're talking about my top five favorite bands, okay, there's only one guitar player in my top five favorite bands that deserves a lot more respect, and he does get a lot of respect, okay. But I think he needs more respect, and that's Alex Lifeson. Alex Lifeson of Rush. I think he's such a great guitarist. So we got Jeff Beck through a lot of phases, jazz, blues, jazz. The list goes on. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if I would want to get everything from Jeff Beck, but who knows? Because I do like that stuff. I am also like I have four Ry Cooter albums. Okay, which I need to get to listening to again for sure. Because I do actually loved all four of them. They're all bit different. They're all quite bit different and interesting. And I need to get into more Ry Cooter because I do love those albums absolutely. So we also have yes, I kind of agree. I do kind of agree with this. Bobby Krieg. Oh wait, there it is. There it is. Bobby Krieger from the Doors is underrated, I would say. Yeah, yeah, he really is. He's because his playing is so subtle and understated, and that's what makes his playing so good because he doesn't showboat. He's not. He's he he lifts up the music rather than stepping over it. He doesn't he knows where to step back and let the rest of the music shine. So that's always a making of a good guitar player when they know how to not to show off and showboat and put that. And Bobby Krieger is one of the best for that. Yeah, yeah, Buck Dharma. I know of Buck Dharma. I've heard that name many times for sure. Always in high esteem. um, yeah. Oh, Camel. I don't know of Camel prog rock. Alan Latimer of Camel prog rock. Yeah, yeah. Okay. would need to look into that. Wait, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. Alan Latimer, and of Camel. Yep, that's a band I've heard of, and I've heard something from it, but I need to check it out. Yeah, and then love the solo from When the Music's Over. Yeah, yeah. But that's like I said, that's what makes Bobby Krieger so good. And I totally agree. He's underrated because he's subtle. He's subtle, and he doesn't overstep. He doesn't overstep over the music. He actually complements the music rather than yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. I agree with that for sure, for sure. And I've made a statement on my channel many times. Okay, I'm going to change. I'm not changing subjects, but I do want to focus on Weird Al for a sec, just for a second, because I always voted Weird Al's band because of the genre of music that Weird Al does. His band never gets the recognition that they deserve. I mean, yes, they do the parody stuff and they're copying, but but when you look at all the original compositions, okay, that is those style parodies, a pastiche, as he says, they're very versatile. Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic's band can play anything, anything. They're just as versatile as King Gizzard or as Sparks. They can play any genre and kill it and kill it. I love Weird Al Yankovic's band. I think they're top notch players. Oh wait, I didn't read this. Camel albums: Mirage, Snow Goose, Rain Dance, Breathless. Okay, okay. That's I will when I do look into them, I will be looking into the discographies of all these bands, of course. Let's go with listen to Roadhouse Blues from Blue Oyster Cult on the live album ETI. There, Bobby Krieger plays as a guest guitarist on that track. Oh, yeah, that okay, okay, that's cool. And been collecting King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard albums, but quite hard to locate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some I'm trying to get to. It took me over a year. It took me over a year to get Flying Microtonal Banana. I've been wanting that for since I first heard it. And I was getting other King Gizzard albums, but that one took me quite a while to find to get find microtonal banana. So I feel your pain. I know there's some I probably need to order, because I can't find any more. I basically got all the King Gizzard I could find, like in person, like in the wild, like at stores and that. So if I want any more King Gizzard albums, I need to order them. Um, I was like same thing with Sparks. I got as much Sparks as I could find in the wild, and I had to order some. So I've ordered at least six to seven CDs from Amazon for Sparks so far. I saw Weird Al back up the Monkeys. Davy, Mickey, Peter at the Sunrise Theater, 1980. Wow, that would have been cool to see. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That would have been wild. I did not even know about that at all. That would have been a cool one to see for sure. I like that idea. I wonder how that would sound. I don't think they would have a. I don't think they would have anything documented on tape. No, you wouldn't be able to find that to hear that. But for them to back up the monkey, for Weird Al to be with the monkeys, I know that he did a couple of things with Weezer, Weird Al and Weezer. He did Africa with them, which is awesome. So yeah, I can't see that being bad at all. That would have been fun. That would have been a fun show. I do have a his I do have on DVD his 1999 Running with Scissors DVD for Weird Al, where he does a lot of costume changes in that. That's fun. I have all 14 albums of Weird Al. It bums me out that he retired in 2014. The last album, Mandatory Fun for Weird Al, came out in 2014. The last full album that he released. I'm bummed about that. I wish there would have been more. Another underrated guitarist is Ian Moss from Cold Chisel with Jimmy Barnes on vocal. I don't know Cold Chisel. That's a new band to me. I never heard them before. Okay, okay. Another band to check out. Cold Chisel. So yeah, Cold Chisel, and I'll put in parentheses here Ian Moss. Cool. Somebody else, somebody new to check out. Everything else so far on my list, I'm aware of, except for Camel and Cold Chisel. Those are the two bands so far on my list that I've never heard of before. I've actually heard of a Throbbing Gristle, but I never heard anything from them at all. So I only heard the name in passing. But the other one, of Camel. I think, yeah, I've heard of Camel. No, I have heard of Camel, but I have not. Yeah, I have never, ever heard of Cold Chisel. So that is actually very new for me. Jakey Lee, who played with Ozzy Osbourne on a couple of albums. I have a Jakey Lee story. Great. I have talked about this a long time ago on my channel. Now, whether you believe this or not, it doesn't matter. I don't even know how much I believe this, okay? I have a really weird story involving Jakey Lee. I must tell you guys. I'll still try to answer some of these questions here, but I got to tell you my Jakey Lee story before I go, for sure. The second time I saw the Monkees was only Mick and Davy with Tommy Rose and the Turtles. I love Bobby V. I have a great assist of Bobby V. My friend and I met Davy and Tommy Rowe at their hotel and got their autographs. Oh wow! Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would be awesome. Like Bobby V, especially there's a couple of songs I really love from Bobby V. Is the Night Has a Thousand Eyes. Probably my favorite Bobby V song is, yeah, The Night Has a Thousand Eyes. I love that song from Bobby V. Just because of that song in particular, I ended up getting the greatest hits, but I really like the whole thing. Now, okay, before anything else, I really need to get to my Jakey Lee story. So, up in Montreal around 2000, 2007, 2008, I was living I was slumming it a little bit, and I was living at the Salvation Army men's shelter called the Boo Center up in Montreal. I didn't stay there for too long, just very temporary, just kind of get myself back on my feet again. I was going through some troubles, through some hard times, and they kind of helped out a lot because I was able to get organized, have a place to stay, and I can go into that story at some other time. But when I was staying there, yeah, okay, wait. When I was staying there was this guy there, okay, with long hair. He looked interesting, and he kind of looked familiar, but I couldn't really place him right. And he was telling people he was Jakey Lee. And then I kind of was talking to him one day, and I'm like, I know, I you look familiar. And he was saying, no, I'm Jakey Lee. But he didn't really look like Jakey Lee that I remember. He said his real name was Carlos Gambino, but his stage name was Jakey Lee. That the whole farce, and he was kind of convincing, but I wasn't 100% convinced that it was the real Jakey Lee. So So I mean, but for a good week, I was talking to somebody who, for all intents and purpose, was Jakey Lee. Okay, so I didn't have any way to verify if he was the real Jakey Lee or anything. There was no internet or anything like that. I just had to take his word for it. The reason why he was staying at that men's shelter at the time, and he said that he had a wife named Linda, who was kind of really ill and in the hospital, okay? And he was going through a depression. He was on drugs and this and that, and he kind of hit rock bottom. And he hasn't been in the music business for a while, and giving me this weird story, and that's why he was at the Salvation Army's men's shelter. Now, I don't 100% believe that he was J.K. Lee. I mean, I reserve just a small possibility that maybe it was, but all in all, I really don't think it was J.K. Lee. But I just find it interesting that this guy that was staying at the men's shelter was for a good full week was yeah, and then until they kicked him out because they caught him smoking weed in his room, and that was a no. So and then I just didn't see him ever again, because he they kicked him out and he was no longer there, and no way to get in touch with him again, because he was talking about having a comeback, and I was going to do the artwork for him, and we were meeting together to come up with some concepts to get his to get him back on to get him noticed, and he was telling me what he wanted for cover art for the album, and he wanted to get a guitar again so he could start practicing. He was rusty, and so that's my little Jakey Lee story. Not saying that it was Jakey Lee, because I have no idea. I seriously don't think it was Jakey Lee, but yeah, yeah, he said he was. So yeah, so that's that. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah, again with the Bobby V. I love Bobby V. I loved all those stuff. Al is still making new music. He's not doing full albums, just singles. Check out his YouTube channel. Buddy Holly is very underrated guitarist. Yes, he is an underrated guitarist. I love Buddy Holly. I have a greatest hits of Buddy Holly. But yeah, I know he's doing singles here and there. I've seen a little bit of Weird Al stuff here and there. But I want his albums. I'm glad that I have all 14 of his studio albums, and I am satisfied with that. But when he was saying that he wasn't going to make after Mandatory Fun, that he didn't think it was viable making any more music, that he turned his I found what yeah, he turned his back on physical media. He turned his back on physical media, and it kind of lost just a tiny bit of respect, you know, just about that. I mean, I still really love and respect his music, and still need to go and play some of those albums again. Have not played any Weird Al albums in a while, but I do want to play, like, I have a soft spot for UHF. I love UHF. I love Off the Deep End. I love Mandatory Fun. Like, Mandatory Fun was one of the best new albums of Weird Al's for quite a while. I loved everything off of that. So yeah, um, he had that movie which I thought was pretty good. Yeah, well, UHF. Yeah, I liked it. It was just up against so much other competition at the time. That's kind of why it bombed at the box office. But I always enjoyed UHF. I thought that was a pretty decent movie for Weird Al. You know, it just didn't get the appreciation that it should have. It's a cult classic now for sure, and it's a movie I do want to own eventually. If I ever see it, I know I could probably find it anytime, anywhere. It's probably very cheap and easy to get. I guarantee if I went to spin it, I could probably find that secondhand somewhere easily. To get UHF, because it is a decent movie. I love the soundtrack. I do actually love the soundtrack. So I mean, I consider that a full fledged album. It didn't do as well as some of the other Weird Al albums, but I really loved it. You know, that movie kind of curbed his career a little bit. Kind of, kind of set him off on a little bit of a different path. But no, but he came back. He came back in a big way, and I love all his albums. So, but like I was saying earlier, yeah, his band, Weird Al Yankovic's band, is the most underrated band out there ever, ever. I truly do believe that. Because they're hidden in the shadow of Weird Al's parody songs, and that's why people don't take that band as seriously as they should. Just saying. All right. Anything else I can talk about? I'm trying to think. Again, if you have any more questions, I'm willing to answer. I'm still here for another hour, and yeah, another hour for sure. So lay it on me. Let me have it. So anything. Yeah, fear. That's another band that I need to get into. Uh I haven't heard them in a quite a long while, and every time I hear that the name Fear for that band, it's like I keep thinking, yeah, yeah, that's something I need to get. So many bands I need to get. Fear is a good one. There's a I don't know. There's too many bands to get. I and just today, I was thinking of more Testament, even. Testament, band called Death. I was thinking of them. They're pretty good. Um, I should look into getting some Ghost. Maybe I don't. I'm not a big fan of Ghost, but I know there is some stuff on that he has made that I like. What else? What else do I need to get? There's so much music I need to get. Anything else? Anything else? But yeah, Fear. Yeah, that would have been a good show. I need to get some Fear for sure, for sure. Anything else? Anything else? Like I don't want to stop my streaming yet. Like I said, I want to go for another hour. I want to answer as many questions as I can. What else do I want to bring up? Soundtracks. Um, I used to really like the symphony soundtracks, like the John Williams stuff, or like especially like I up in like for a little bit up in Montreal, like in the early Montreal, I wanted to collect some symphony stuff, like the soundtracks for Star Wars, the like mostly the John Williams stuff, but there was other soundtracks too I wanted to get and such. Yeah, I don't know. What else can I talk about? I talked about that. I talked about that. How much I enjoyed that. I really love that they come with that cover just like the LP does. That tickles me. That tickles me. That I wish more bands would do stuff like that with their album covers. I know Tool always has some really great stuff with their album covers. You know, so I don't I don't really listen to soundtracks, but I do love, yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly. One of my favorite One of my favorite renditions, of course, is that what the this what's the name of that orchestra now? They do a kick ass version of the good, the bad, the ugly. I ended up giving that as a request to the Trash Talkers at one point. It was actually my very first request with the Trash Talkers. I gave them the good, the bad, the ugly. What was it? Ecstasy of Gold, is it called? But it's the Sweden. The Danish, yeah, the Danish orchestra, grand orchestra. That's yeah, they did with the what's her name, Luva doing the wah wah wah, and such an awesome performance. I watched that performance, that video of the good, the bad, the ugly from the Danish orchestra at least 20 times, at least 20 times, and it never ceases to get boring. Or it always amazes me. It always, you know, I'm always in awe of that performance. Oh yeah, yeah, that was a good movie. Decline of Western Civilization. That is a movie I would not mind getting to. I do like that. Black Flag, Circle Jerks, X, Fear, Germ. This movie told me where the music was going. Yeah, yeah, it's so true. It is so true. Because of course, hence the name Decline. You know, it's not the rise of Western civilization. No, it's the decline of Western civilization. um, Currently listening to Ogre, Devils in My Details. Having seen me mentioning it, yeah, fantastic album that has a really dark, unsettling flow, almost a chemical, leaves one with a weirdness. Yes, yes, exactly why I love it so much. You just hit it right on the nail. I love that album so much. It is my favorite. It is my favorite Ogre album for all those very reasons. Exactly that. It has such a different weird album. It's so different than anything else I've ever heard before. It's unique in itself. It's unique and even amongst his other works because there's of course Sunny Psyops and there's Wealth and there's Undeveloped, which this is the other albums I have of Ogre, which are awesome. They have their own flow and sound, but when the first time I put the Devil in My Details on, it blew me away. It blew me away. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you're right. It is exactly the same person who did the Wayne's World movie. Forget her name at the moment, but yes, I watched that what like 2 weeks ago where behind the scenes kind of about the Wayne's World. I was watching. I think it was Minty's Minty's comedic art where he's 10 things you don't know about Wayne's World. Let's check her out. Minty. He always wears the sunglasses. He's a bald Australian. Which I like his. I love his movie collection and everything. And so yeah, ordered to two melt. Yeah, yeah. Well, but it is cool. Sunny Psyop on the back of it, enjoying it so much. Just order some Dead Fly Ensemble too. Amazing. Dead Fly Ensemble is that if that's a new band or an album, I don't care. I'm gonna write that down. Dead Fly Ensemble. Yeah, okay. That sounds interesting. I like interesting sounding names like that. So, I mean, if you're bringing that up alongside of Ogre, then yeah, that should that, that should be cool. I can't see why I wouldn't like it then. So I'm always open to checking out something new. Oh, if because you can't see it or not, I am wearing my Tool shirt, my newest Tool shirt that I bought recently. Well, it's an older shirt. It's for my favorite album of all time, Lateralis. But just want to kind of show you that I am wearing that at the moment. So, as a punk and new wave drummer, I saw who was competing with our band, RAF, later DT, Merrill's, and the Drills. Hmm. So we backed up TOI and subs. Now, I'm not sure about those bands, but yeah, it sounds interesting. And then let's see what the trying to get to. Come on, why isn't it coming over? I have to wait. I have a low signal right now, so oh, there we go. Yeah, I have my signal kind of died here for a second, but it's all good now. It should be okay now. Do I like Peter Gabriel? Yeah, I actually don't mind Peter Gabriel. I like his singing pretty much just as much as Phil Collins. You know, they're on they're different, but I don't know, they're both pretty good. So, do I like Phil Collins maybe just a touch more? I don't know. I have to listen to more Peter Gabriel. I can't really make a decision on that. But I do like Peter Gabriel. Everything I've heard from him so far, I have not disliked anything that I've heard. So yeah, I like Peter Gabriel. Uh, True Sounds of Liberty. True Sounds of Liberty. Oh, okay. True True Sounds of Liberty. TSOI. Want to write that down? True. Anything that's going to be different and something I can sample. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to all of these things, but I'm writing it down for a reason because I do want to get into this because this is also not only is it going to open up my my world for more and different music, but these are also great topics to bring up later on for like to talk about on my channel for sure. His Peter Gabriel's first solo album is a must. Yes, yep, oh yeah, absolutely. I do want to get into Peter. I do want to get into more Peter Gabriel. Uh I kept on looking at some of Phil Collins solo albums too, and I keep passing them up. I keep I look at them briefly, and I'm like, and I like, no, it doesn't really interest me. But funny, maybe some Peter Gabriel might interest me a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, let's see what my first four albums in my collection, all Led Zeppelin, 1 and 4, all released in 3 years. That would have been a cool collection to start with. Probably way back when they first came out, of course. That's what you're talking about. The first four albums in your collection, all Led Zeppelins. Yeah, yeah. I still don't have the first one yet. I got three. I mean, I got two. I got three. I got four. I got Houses of the Holy. I really need get uh to get Physical Graffiti. That's like pretty much next on my list. But I gotta get the debut album. You know, I do gotta get the first album. I don't have that, but I need it. Need it definitely. All right, let's see. The Dead Fly Ensemble seems to inhibit a similar creepy realm as Ogre. Just got an instructional guide for aspiring arsonists. I recommend a Spotify Google of the track Dog versus Postman and Bee. Okay. All right. That sounds interesting. I have it written down. I do have the Dead Fly Ensemble written down. Okay, I'm gonna actually write that. The An instructional guide. Okay, that's what I'll write down. It should bring everything up. An instructional guide, and then I should get all of the rest of that. Yeah, yeah. Power Age. I love Power Age. It is probably my favorite, one of my favorite ACDC albums. That and High Voltage. Power Age and High Voltage are probably my two favorite, especially Bon Scott. I love those albums as much as I love for Let There Be Rock or or some of the other ones. Yeah, those two are kind of special. Yeah, for sure. Power Age and High Voltage. Those are two of my favorite ones for sure. Led Zeppelin 3 is yeah. Again, I was just marveling over the cover, and I do actually love it when I played, because this was the last one I played recently, and I enjoyed it. I need to play it again for sure, but I just love that. I just love that cover of how they changed in that. That is such a great idea, and like I was saying, I wish more bands would do that for sure. So and other people, like Easton, his favorite is number two. Led Zeppelin 2 is his favorite of the four. Yeah, you're gonna find people are gonna have their favorites. I think my favorite probably still is Physical Graffiti. Personally, I do love Physical Graffiti, but out of the first four, I don't know really which one I like the most, because they each have their own special quality. Yeah. High Voltage was the first rock album I ever bought. Yeah, yeah, that would have been a blast. High Voltage is so good, so good. High Voltage and Power Age. I tell you, they are some of the best old school ACDC you can get for sure. And again, as much as I love Dirty Deeds and Let There Be Rock and the such, yeah, I have a special spot for Power Age and High Voltage, especially with the Bon Scott stuff for sure. I also play with the band Radio Berlin, the EP dance they use with the band called Berlin Radio that you played with. Well, that is going to get an asterisk, and I will be checking out sooner rather than later. That's going to the top of the list of things I need to hear. Radio Berlin, and particularly the their EP dance. Okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I like that. I like that. I need to listen. I need to listen to some Mars Volta. Yeah, Acupuncture and Bedlam at Goliath. Bedlam and Goliath. A lot at the moment too. Mind bending, eclectic, atmospheric, jazzy rock and roll. Yeah, yep. Mars Volta. I do want to get into them for sure. Mars Volta. Is that that's not the band that Danny Carey is involved with, is it? I know, because I know he has a Danny Carey is doing a couple of side projects besides Tool and that, right? And I kind of remember. Am I thinking correctly that Mars Volta is part of that? I could be wrong, but I seem to remember. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes, I like Yes. That's that's my answer. Yes, yes, I like Yes. You know, what I got it um right there. I need to get more. I do want to get more, but I actually am happy that I have classic. I have Close to the Edge. I bought that for sure. I got that from Larry Graves. Larry Graves sent that to me. I believe he also sent that to me. I think, yeah, I think he sent me. Yeah, he sent me. I'm pretty sure, but oh, I think we made a cut out there for a second. Hopefully, it's not going to interrupt too much. But yes to yes, exactly, Ethan. Yes to yes for sure. And close to the edge is really good. I need again. That's something else I need to get to very soon. I need to I need to get to that. I have that the I have the bonus stuff too, with the bonus tracks and stuff and everything. I don't really need to listen to the bonus tracks. I just kind of like listening to the album. I have heard the both, and they are cool little differences and stuff here, but there is really kind of unnecessary. Once you play the album, that's what you really want to play anyway. I mean, I like having the bonus stuff, but sometimes that bonus stuff is not as necessary. But it is a perfect album. It is really great. Something I do need to play again. Absolutely for sure. Yeah, some of those yeah, I know this is already full. Besides what's in here, okay, what I need to listen to again for sure, because I listened to Fragile just recently, not too long ago. Okay, I do need to listen to Close to the Edge by Yes and King Crimson's A Court of the Crimson King. I do need to listen to these for sure. Those are kind of on my list. Right behind those, again, besides that box, my box of heavy rotation and stuff, those and this too. I need to listen to that again for some of that old classic stuff. And once I get some room into that heavy rotation box, I will be putting those in there for sure. Also, like again, I again, there's so much music. I want to play some more. I actually want to play some more Frank Zappa. I want to play my Rat. Yeah, that's something new I had recently got. I forgot to talk about. I recently got the Rat, the original album series, and it has some pretty good stuff on there. Out of the Cellar, Invasion of Your Privacy, Dancing Undercover, Reach for the Sky, Detonator. For me, I think the highlight is Invasion of Your Privacy. That is so much better than I remembered. It's such a good album. Let's see what Mars Volta morphs out of At the Drive-In At the Drive-In. I don't know a lot about them, just learning. Always love the At the Drive-In, One Armed Scissors, and like a jazzier, proggier Rage Against the Machine. Okay, that sounds good. There's nothing wrong with that. So, okay, At the Drive-In. I'll keep that in mind for sure because I will be checking out some Mars Volta for sure. You need to check out seriously underrated Arkansas band from the 90s called Mother's Day Out. They they only released one album, My Soul is Wet. Well, that's gonna be easy to collect if I can find it. If like a band that only has one album, yeah, that's a no brainer. It makes it like you don't have to invest on like 26, 27 albums to collect your whole discography. If you only have one to get, yeah. So it's called Mother's Day Out, and the album would be My Soul is Wet. Cool, cool. Again, that's what I'm here for. To put all this, to write all this stuff down, and try my darndest to get to everything. I have quite a few stuff on the list here, but quite a few of this I can probably found out tonight after I'm done with the live stream. Once I'm done in probably about 40 more minutes, I can I can sample as much of this as possible, and probably in about 2 or 3 days, I will keep this in mind. I'll keep this in mind and go through as much of this as possible and make a video where I'll be talking about what I went through, what I still need to get through. I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you posted for sure of my progress with this stuff. Because like I said, I do want to get into more different music for sure. And thank you guys everybody for all the cool suggestions and the cool talk so far. I'm actually really enjoying doing this live today. So, and it's all thanks to you. You guys are making it fun for me. So, I'm like I said, I'm here for 40 more minutes. So whatever you want to know, anything you want to ask me, anything you want to tell me, I'm here for you. So, and I'm going to be going live way more often for sure. When I saw Yes Tour Tales of Topographical Oceans in 1973, I got tickets in time. It sold out after that. A lot of my friends were pissed they couldn't get tickets. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine they'd be angry that they couldn't get tickets to that. It would have been again, if I would have been born in a different era and a different time, and to be able to go to a lot of these types of shows and stuff, you know, yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. Yeah, that all of these shows that you guys are talking about, I can imagine them being transcending and inspiring at the least for sure. You know, I need that album. I do need that Yes album for sure. Yeah, yeah. There's so much I need to get. That's the problem. So like it was said earlier in the chat here that there's so much music, so little time, and it's so true. It's so true that you have to be very picky and choosy sometimes, and I don't like that. I don't want to be. I want to be all inclusive. I want to be open minded to so many different music because you never know. You might somebody might refer to a band to you, okay, and you say, "Oh yeah, I'll get to that," and you don't get to it because you just for whatever reason, not because you don't want to, but because you just didn't get around to it. And it could be the best band you ever heard. You never know. You could be like, why did I not listen to this earlier? Because it's fantastic, and yeah. Mm. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for that. Yeah, uh, music, music is life. It was the one major thing in my entire life that I could always, like I said, it never disappointed me really. Even when it did disappoint me, it didn't disappoint me because there's always something around the corner to listen to. Always like I have such nostalgia for the stuff I grew up on from the 70s, from the 80s, the 90s, it all has such deep, meaningful, there's certain songs, okay, or even certain albums that you will associate with certain times in your life. You hear this album, a particular album, and that will put you right back to the first time you kissed a girl or the first time you experienced this and experienced that. Some you know some albums can go along with your favorite movies or your favorite. You can listen to something for the first time. You know, you never know how the associations. My love for music comes from my dad's side for sure. My dad loved music. He loved his old 50s and 60s. Oldies but goodies. Especially like during the early 70s, music was changing. We were getting bands like Led Zeppelin and like those psychedelic bands that started in 1969 and after that, music was changing. My favorite band, Kiss, when Kiss started coming out in in 74, for example. Yeah, my dad would always still be like focused on that old 50s and 60s music. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's, you have music is unique to every person. That's why I like to say and I agree with so many people that music is subjective. You cannot That's why you can never really ever put down other people's taste in music because you did not spend time in their shoes. You did not spend time in their life. You don't know what their mindset, what they've gone through, where they were, who they were with. You could put on a party album and it could bring you back to the time you were the best time in your life with your best friends. and bringing memories. Is remember when we were playing this in the car that day when we went to this place and did this and did that. Yeah, like okay, I have an example. I have an example. What you see and listen to while you're young sticks with you forever. Absolutely. In my late 20s, okay, I was hanging out with some buddies one day. Okay, we were at a party and we needed to go somewhere else for another party, right? And I was aware of a couple of songs by this band, and but I had never heard these two particular songs by this band, and where I was and where I was, what I was doing when I first heard them. Okay, I knew about Pearl Jam. I knew of the song Jeremy and Alive and Even Flow. Okay, I was aware of those, but I had never heard the album yet. Okay, I wasn't aware of the album in its entirety, and I was with my friends. I was with my friends. That was fun playing the drums to that album and learning the white. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And you're thinking about the topographical. You're still talking about the Tales from the Topographical Oceans. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, we had to go to a party, right? So there was not enough room in the car at all. So me and my friend Andy, we decided to go into and it was a big car with big trunk, and both of us together because we're still kind of young and small enough. We both could fit in the trunk pretty easily. I mean, there wasn't a lot of room left, but we were both, in the trunk. And the speakers, right, because there's two speakers right in the back of the headboard of the back seat, and they had they were and the music was super loud and pretty much right in my ear. The speaker was right there. The speaker was pointing up, of course, but the speaker was right there, and I could hear it clearly. And so here we were playing Pearl Jam, the album 10, and the two songs it was programmed on a disc, and it was Black and Release Me. Those two songs in particular. And Andy knew the songs by heart. He knew the lyrics, and he was mouthing the lyrics. And from my perspective, from sitting and he had a flashlight, so there was light. He had it at his face, and he was just mouthing the words to the songs at me. And I had never heard the songs before, and it was so interesting, like being in that spot at that time. Oh, hey, hello, the CD cave. Yeah, I need to catch up on a couple of your videos. I haven't checked out the last haul you did, but I do want to for sure soon enough. But yeah, but as I was, the point is where you are sometimes and what you're doing and your mindset and everything has such an influence. I mean, the next couple of days after I was experiencing that, those two songs from Pearl Jam in the trunk of a car with my friend Andy mouthing the words to me, in perfect sync, perfect sync. I had to get the album. I had to get the album, and I still have the album. That's the only Pearl Jam album I have so far. But I do need to get Versus, Anthology, and Coda, and more for sure. Oh, I got some more messages. Records I listened to when I was 15 still resonate with me. I feel growing up in the late 80s, early 90s fortunate. It is. You were super fortunate if you were experiencing that those 80s and 90s music when it came out, you know. I don't find contemporary music as interesting. It really isn't. It really isn't. I mean, there are exceptions. There's many exceptions, okay? But for the most part, yeah, music is just kind of the same old, same old. There's nothing really innovative, and a lot of it is, and I do like some of it, okay, but it never compares to the real music played by musicians on real instruments, you know, um, acoustic, analog. That stuff was great growing up. There was nothing. Now everything wants to be super polished, too perfect. Sometimes the best parts of an album were those little tiny mistakes, those little time where, hey, you hear that they're kind of off on the timing on this. The tempo is changed. There's tempo changes. There's a missed beat, a misplayed note, and sometimes that's the most interesting stuff. That's what makes those albums great. Mhm. Yes, of course. No Coda is a great album, and I do want it. Like I was saying, No Coda. I want Versus. I want I want yeah, I want Vitology. I do want a lot of Pro Jam. Um, and I almost picked up the other day. I had it in my hand, and I was thinking about getting it. The Eddie Vedder stuff he did for that movie soundtrack in the Wild. I almost picked that up. I came this close to picking that up because I'm still interested in Pro Jam. I really need to pick up that album, Temple of the Dog. They only have that one album, and it was kind of a little bit of a super group with members of Soundgarden and other bands, to make Temple of the Dog. But I always love that. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouth of decadence. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. I love that. I love that, and I need to get more Pearl Jam and more Eddie Vedder stuff for sure, for sure. But yeah, but talking about history, I mean, I think that's the main part when it comes to music. We have our memories, like with the like I cannot relate. I cannot relate to people who saw the Beatles or Elvis the first time on Ed Sullivan, for example, or those people who saw Sparks the very first time on the Midnight Special. How I got introduced to Sparks was a movie trailer for the documentary for Sparks. That's how got introduced to Sparks. But Larry, he got introduced by the Midnight Special. Same thing with Monty Mullen. You know, yes, 100%. It is such a great album and needs to be in people's collections. It has to be in my collection. It is something I need to get, and I'm sad that I don't have it yet. And if I and I don't because I haven't I don't think I've seen it because if I seen it, I would have gotten it. I would have gotten it guaranteed. So I haven't seen it. Otherwise, I would have gotten it. And there's come on, come over. Yeah, there it is. My college buddies turned me on to Kiss Alive One in Boston, and I worked in Boston Orpheum Theater as a volunteer usher. Saw Kiss for free. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and that was a lot of people's introduction to Kiss was because the radio played the Alive One version of Rock and Roll All Night, a lot, a lot. That's what got people's attention. It was when that came out. And I mean, of course, I mean, for me personally, like I was a fan from the very beginning because of my uncle, of course, bringing that album in. But but yeah, it was awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let's move on. Chris Cornell, such a tragic and magnificent person. Yeah, yes. I need Soundgarden. I need Bad Motor Finger. I need Super Unknown. I do need those. Yeah. Temple of the Dog is a great album. Such a great album. And that's why I was saying if you don't have it in your collection, it's something you must get. It's an essential. I was just talking to my best friend yesterday about what I consider essential albums that when I was restarting in 2012, when I was restarting from scratch, building up my CD collection, there were certain albums that was necessary that I needed to have in my collection. Of course, there's those ones that I grew up on, like Alice Cooper Killer, had to have that. Had to have Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell because it's part of my childhood. You know, had to have Michael Jackson Thriller because it's a part of my childhood. I mean, that's a little bit later on, but so much, Cat Stevens, that was a part of my childhood, you know. But some later stuff that was absolutely necessary was well, Temple of the Dog should have been on that list a long time ago, and it will be rectified pretty soon. I'm gonna have to get that because I do love that and it's important to have. But the Blue album from Weezer was another one that I had to have. It's a Shame About Ray from Lemonheads. That was another album that was necessary in my collection, and so many others that I can't. Um, Hot Show from Hot Show from Prozac was another album that needed to be in my collection. So many different genres of music that I own. I'm just looking at some of the stuff that I have, trying to get some ideas here and there. Yeah, there's when we all have our essential albums that must be in our collection. The ones that are the most important, the ones that we have the strongest associations with. Those are the special albums, and we all have them. We all have them, and that's the beauty of just being able to share. Some of the greatest experiences that you've had with other people, like and like I'm okay, like I'm experiencing a lot of this stuff for the first time. Okay, like some of the stuff I was always aware of. Where where do I put those? Like the biggest examples for me. Okay, again, I did not grow up listening to. I did not listen. I did not grow up listening to, for example, say this. That wasn't a part of my childhood. This is just a recent. Like I was aware of it, okay, but I never listened to it. This was just recently, and same thing with this. This is just recently, but when you put it in context of being in somebody else's head and trying to think of like what their experiences were with an album. Again, Pinkerton, that's correct. You're spelling it correct. Pinkerton is a great album too, and I do need to get that. There is some other albums from from Weezer I do need to get, but the Blue album, it's the only one I have so far of Weezer, but the Blue album was an essential because that was a major one that we had, and I played that a lot. Even before there was any other albums, it was just when it was just the Blue album. So yeah, and so yeah, again, what I was getting at is that you can't, like I said, you cannot be in other people's shoes. So you have to put in context of like, again, I knew of a couple of these songs like from this. I've heard Baba O'Reilly before. I've heard Behind Blue Eyes before. I heard Won't Get Fooled Again, but I had never heard all of this album until just recently. Well, basically until and not until Larry Graves sent me this copy. Only when I finally had this copy in my hands that I could actually hear it for the first time and really. And you got to get into the mindset of what it would have been like to hear it when it first came out, before everything that came out after it to influence your listening in one way or another. They didn't have all this other stuff after it to compare it to. Like when you're listening to something for the first time when it first came out way back when, yeah, if I would have known when I first heard opiate where it was going to go, I got to keep up with these. I do really love the first two Weezer albums. Never really kept up with them after that. Yeah, I know. Neither did I. But I kind of want to. I do want to, hear some of the other stuff. 100%. It is such a great album, and the more I play it, the more I appreciate it and love it for what it is. I really do enjoy that album quite a bit, and I'm so happy to buy it. Yep, yep, exactly. Those two first Weezer albums, they are great. And another great concert I saw was Roxy Music at the Boston Orpheum Country Life and Sirens the next year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Roxy Music. I'm vaguely aware of them. Never really listened to them. I don't mind them. I will eventually sample more from them. Maybe not right away. There's stuff higher on the list here, and the ones I put asterisks next to that I really want to get to first. But eventually, if it's on the list, I will get to it. If you ever get to watch The Kids Are All Right, it's a movie about the Who with lots of footage of them playing live. Oh, yeah, I've heard of it, never seen it, but love to get to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would love to get to that for sure. Absolutely. 100%. So I still never seen Tommy, and I still never even heard the album Tommy. I'm only aware of the couple of songs from that album, but there's so much I haven't experienced yet. Like people are saying, "What? You never listened to Tommy yet?" I haven't really listened to a lot of the Who albums, but I will get to that eventually. I mean, I'll probably end up buying them and getting to them. Like I said, I just want my collection to grow. So I'm pretty much open to buying almost anything at the moment for music. If I really do want to get rid of music eventually, and I might get rid of a few things here and there, especially once I get to 1,000 CDs, then I think then I'm only then will I seriously consider consolidating and getting rid of some CDs. But for the moment, I have no intention of really getting rid of much. I might, like I said, I might get rid of a couple those extra Anthrax I have because I don't need them. Like I said, because I have both of because I have both Among the Living and Spreading the Disease on this, right? I have them both on that, and then some. I don't necessarily need to keep these. The reason why I like having them, okay, is because what you don't get with the box set like this, okay, is this stuff here, is that stuff here. Lyrics, full lyrics, and that is not in that box set. You know, um, I think with this one here, it has some art, some. See, you don't get that cool artwork that I remember so well growing up. And again, more lyrics, and so that's kind of the only reason why I have them. But it I don't necessarily need to keep them because I know all these lyrics by heart. I know all these songs. I've listened to them so often growing up. Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware that it's very odd and strange, but so is the Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a fun romp, as strange and as bizarre as that was. I don't mind. I like strange and bizarre. That is sometimes the funnest stuff. Who cares if it doesn't fit what people consider normal? What's normal anyway? No, I love all that stuff. That's what makes life interesting. If we didn't have odd and strange, okay, life would be boring. Life would be boring. I think some of the best music out there, some of the best movies out there are the odd, strange ones that just does things a little different. So no, that does not deter me ever for watching a movie. That's actually a bonus for me. So yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. So I do need to see Tommy. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing The Wall again. I've only seen it the one time a long time ago when it first came out. I mean, I always loved The Wall. I used to own it before on I mean, The Wall was the only Pink Floyd album I had ever owned before I started my collection again. So I'm glad that I do have it again. But I wouldn't mind actually even owning The Wall. If I ever see it somewhere cheap enough to get it on DVD or something, I get it. I get The Wall, that movie. Why not? Just it's nice to have. Yeah. It's a good psychedelic movie. You don't even need to be on anything to trip out over it. It's really cool. But it's been a while. It's been a while since I seen it. But all these kind of movies, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind getting them. They made a movie called Rude Boy. Okay, okay, that's okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna put in quotations movie of the Clash called Rude Boy. Rude Boy. Never heard of it actually. It's strange that I have not heard of that. So yeah, Rude Boy. Yeah. Okay. Again, all your notes, all your suggestions, I am going to keep them all in consideration and taking notes. Because sometimes I know I keep saying to people, "Oh yeah, I'll remember that and I'll get to that," and sometimes I might forget. So it's worth right. And like I said way at the beginning, I bought a few notebooks specifically for this reason. To take notes and to yeah get to as much of this as possible. Anything else? I got 15 more minutes and then I'm going to start 10 about 10 15 more minutes and I'm going to start winding down. So I've been going for 2 hours and 46 minutes so far. And yeah, I'm actually I'm pretty happy with everything. I loved our conversations today. I loved your questions and still want a little bit more before I get to go. Anything you want to know? Anything you want to tell me? Suggestions and that? 15 more minutes to do so. And like I wanted to say earlier, and you guys know already, I do want to go live much, much more often. The next time I go live, I do want to give you guys, I want to give just a little bit more of a heads up that I'm going to go live so you guys can join me and everything. Well, and maybe next time, maybe get one of you guys on screen here with me, and I can share my screen with you guys, and we can, you know, if if Larry Graves would have been up for it, I would have definitely had gotten him on the channel here and with me. I've been on other people's channels, but I haven't had anybody else necessarily on my channel, except for that one time where I did my Sparks things with with Larry Graves, Monty Mullen, and Paul Barrett. That was fun. That was fun talking about Sparks for about an hour or so. If the only downside of that, of course, that day is that my signal is not the strongest, and I had a terrible lag on my part. They were all fine. I had a terrible lag, and I just kind of wish it would have been a little bit more on time. If everybody would have been in sync, so it would have been a much better live stream that day. And I wanted to do a live stream where I talked about Sparks with some awesome Sparks fans for sure. And I wouldn't mind doing that again someday. Having a cool live stream where have some people on talking about a really cool subject. Doesn't matter what subject, as long as it's something fun. I just want to. I want to do this way more often. I love connecting with you guys. I love coming online with you guys. So yeah, for sure, you're gonna see more of this. Absolutely. Now that summer's coming, I am going to be doing more content outside. I've been wanting to do that for the last couple of days, but haven't gotten around to it. I wanted to go live outside or film outside or show you some really cool content other places than that. Yes, I heard about this quadrophenia, and it's way more serious than Tommy. Yeah, I know. That's another movie. Yeah, Tommy and Quadrophenia. Those are on my list. Tommy and just so I don't forget these. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. They are definitely need to check out. I'm sure if I'll be looking for them on DVD. I will be looking. I don't really want to stream them. I don't want to. If I see those movies, I absolutely my nose has been itching for the last hour. I in between there. I don't know why, but yeah, for if I see those on DVD, I definitely need to get it. Well, hey, here's my awesome friend Bunky's cow. Oh, really? Not together. Nirvana did one, and then Pearl Jam separately did a cover of Baba O'Reilly by The Who. That I need to hear. Yeah, Bunky's cow, and he said I can say his real name. His real name is let's call him Larry Lawrence. His name is Lawrence. Larry is such a cool friend. I have great conversations with him on Facebook here and there. So it's always fun chatting with Bunky. Well, his nickname is Bunky, but yeah, Bunky's cow. But yeah, I can call him Bunky or Larry or Lawrence. He's a really cool guy and he's a big Nirvana fan. So yeah, I want to get more Nirvana stuff. I do want to get some live Nirvana. I always satisfied with the audio albums, and I definitely need to get some more extra live stuff of Nirvana. I will be looking for peripherals for sure because I liked them, and some of that stuff is really good. If I can get, I want to look see if they can. I want to get some rarity stuff of Nirvana too. Anything that the albums don't have, that would be awesome. Especially doing Baba O'Reilly. Yeah, I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out. That's gonna have an asterisk next to it too, because that I'm very curious. Nirvana and Pearl Jam PJ cover of Baba. Yeah, I'll know exactly what that means. Yeah, Nirvana and PJ cover of Baba. Yeah, that I won't misunderstand that. I'll know exactly what that's talking about. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So I got some movies to look into finding. And I'm sure if I like for these, okay, for Quadrophenia and the Tommy movie, I'm sure if I go to Spin It, because Spin It has a lot of DVDs, a lot of stuff. They have like not only what they have on the rack, okay, on the shelf, but they have these they have these drawers on the bottom of where the shelves are that has just stocked full of all kinds of DVDs that's not even put out. So there's a lot to look through. I need to look through that one day and see what I can't find for movies and that because they're pretty decent prices because it's all secondhand. But I know there's a lot in there. I bet you if I really take a look, I probably find a lot of good stuff. But yeah, Quadrophenia and Tommy, if I can find those, definitely want to get those for sure. For sure. I'm interested in all that stuff. And the wall, for example. But yeah, I can't wait to actually hear that. So, right, the first things on my list of things that I put in asterisks is the Yardbirds, Psycho Daisies. I need to listen to that. Radio Berlin with the EP Dance because somebody played bass on that and or somebody played on that or drums. Is it? What was that? That was a little bit back here for EP Dance. EP Dance. Where was that? I saw that back here, and I wanna. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out for sure. And Just give me a second. I got a message on my phone I want to check out here. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, that's Larry. That's Bunky's cow who just sent me a message I want to check out here. I'll get back with you in a second. So, yeah, he sent me a YouTube. Oh, he sent me the YouTube for it. I'm not gonna play it right now. But I'll be playing it first thing. Tap to tap to unmute. So I'm not unmuting it. Nirvana, yeah, Nirvana doing a cover of Baba O'Reilly, and that's from the Outcesticide too. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So yes, as soon as I'm done, another 5-10 more minutes, and then I'll be done with the live stream. Once I say goodbye to everybody and my closing thoughts and stuff, definitely going to be one of the first things I listen to. Absolutely, for sure. Thank you for sending that to me, Larry, Lawrence, Funky. Either or, they're all good. If I call you one or the other, it's all good. I mean respect 100% for sure. But that's cool. That's cool that you sent me that because I do want to check that out for sure. All right. Oh, I didn't see that until the last second. Yeah. As a Clash fan, I saw Rude Boy at the movie theater and was blown away. And later saw them in concert in 1985. Cut the Crap tour at Sunrise Theater and Tissan backing them up reggae band. Ah, yeah, that would have been fun. Again, all that stuff would have been fun. To be able to go see these movies live, like when it first came out and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, that would have been awesome. Awesome, awesome. Um, so one last little story. I gotta go get something, but before I let you go, okay, I gotta find it here first. I believe it was for this. It was in this. Maybe about when this had came out. Yeah, it was 2015, 2016. Yeah, it was 2015. Okay. For one night only, there was at the movie theater. Okay, and I was working at the movie theater at the time. Didn't I go and see they had? Was it for this one? No, it wasn't for this one. Give me a second. I gotta find the right. I need to find the right one here. It was. Where's my other Rush albums? Right back there. Okay, there it is. I'll be with you in a second. I'm not far. I'm just gonna get something out here. There, that's what I needed to find. This is it. Oh well, thank you very much for joining me, the Incompletist. So now I am going to be going live a lot more often, as much as I can. I want to try to go at least once a month, maybe twice a month. But yeah, I was able to see at the movie theater. It was like almost like being there live because I was sitting pretty close, and it was on the uh, on the big screen. I got to see basically from this is from the Clockwork Angels tour. Okay, I basically got to see the second set, everything from Caravan right up to the Spirit of Radio. That whole set right here, okay, I was able to go and see that live. Not live, but almost live, but in the theater. In the theater. It was one of the few shows that I went to go see in the movie theater that wasn't an actual movie. It was a live concert type of thing, you know. And I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. I brought a friend with me at the time. I haven't seen him in years since then, but that was such a great experience. And then when I got this, and I was so stoked when I started playing this, I didn't realize it was going to be the same show until it got to this point. When as soon as Caravan started, I knew it was the same. I knew it had to be the same show. So I was really stoked to get that. Hey, I saw that in the theater. So that was one of my musical experiences in a theater for a band, for example. Mhm. Oh yeah, it was a great time. I loved it. You know, seeing it was the closest that I was going to get at the time. It's still the closest that I've gotten to seeing them live. You know, I mean, it's a live show, but it's on a movie screen. But it's so big enough in the sound, because the sound was pretty awesome. It sounded great. So so that was a great experience. It was probably the best that I've ever heard those songs from Rush. So yeah, that was awesome. So I got some more messages here I want to check out. Oh, that's Larry. That's Bunky leaving me the yeah, that's him leaving me the I'll show you in a second here. So tap to unmute. So there's a Baba O'Reilly. You know, I'm not playing it right now, but it's Baba O'Reilly, the Who cover live at Madison Square Garden by Pearl Jam. That's Pearl Jam doing the cover. So he sent me both copies of the two, like, of Nirvana. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will be listening to those because I do love those songs, and I'm sure they're gonna blow it out of the water. So, oh yeah, Brian, thank you for showing up for sure. It was an awesome stream. I agree. I really loved every second of it. It wasn't really I didn't have any too much of a low moments. There wasn't any time where I wasn't, saying something or coming up with something. So it's a success. I consider this a very big success for a live stream. So yeah, it was, yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Lawrence, for showing up. And am I missing anybody? Also, yeah, thank you for the CD cave. For that, I know his real name. I think it's Jack. Yeah, his name is Jack from the CD cave. Thank you for showing up earlier. Um, there was somebody else that has showed up earlier. Thank you for the incompletist for showing up. You know, so yeah. If I miss somebody, Robert Harris, absolutely, Robert Harris. Thank you for showing up when you did. You know, and again, thank you for the gifts that you sent me in the mail. I cherished them very much. So yeah, okay. It's been over 3 hours now since I've been going. Uh, just a couple, a little bit here. Patty Smith, my generation is also great. Yes, yes, yes. I've heard that a long time ago, but no, 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 that's something I want to hear again for sure. I do like that. Patty Smith doing my generation. Yeah, yeah, that's something I want to hear again. Generation. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. And you may want to join in Royce in house tomorrow night, 9:30 discussion cream the band. I would. I would be there. That would be a cool discussion if I wasn't working. I am working tomorrow night around that time, maybe. Depending on where you are and what time zone you're in, I probably won't be able to get there because I technically start, Atlantic Daylight Time. I start tomorrow. I have to leave here for 4 p.m., be at work for 5 p.m., and probably won't be back home until a little after midnight. So I probably won't be around in order to check that out. But I might check it out after the fact once it gets posted and see how that went. So is he goes just by Royce? Royce in house? Royce in house? I'm pretty sure that's the whole thing. And they're discussing Cream. The band? Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I might check it out after the fact once it gets posted. But yeah, that's cool. So okay, again, everybody who joined me today on like in the who popped in and out, who watched a little bit, but everybody who was in the chat on the side there, I want to thank everybody again. And so if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do, because you know me, I will love you forever. Greatly appreciate it. If you watch this whole live stream, you know how passionate I am for music and always want to try to talk about music as much as possible. I will be doing this again way more often, especially this summer. So everybody, okay, don't be afraid to hit the like button. Leave a comment, especially after once this gets posted. Leave comments. Tell me what you think. Give me more. Give me even more suggestions if you want. Tell me what you think of. You know, I love all of this, all of it. So okay, I'm finally letting you guys go after 3 hours of talking. Everybody, be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, morning, night, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.